This video is brought to you by viewers like you. It has been an entire year since Cats was released onto the world, and what a year it has been. And there's something that I keep in the back of my head whenever I see a movie this bad. A film this universally panned. It's this quote that I always heard attributed to the late great Ennio Morricone when it came to music and the movies. And it goes something like this. A good film can survive a bad score, but a good score cannot save a bad film. In other words, if you write bad music, but it's in a good movie, no one will really care. But if you write an amazing score for a film that did pretty mediocre, people will still probably not care. Film scoring is a really thankless profession. But that kind of gets you thinking when it comes to a film like 2019's Cats, with what might be the worst film of the decade, keeping in mind that it's also a musical, it kind of begs the question, is there a possibility that we all missed something here? Was there a musical diamond in the rough somewhere in this cesspool of a film? Was the music in Cats any good? No. Part 1, how the does Cats work? If we're going to talk about Cats, then we have to talk about how it works as a musical, which is not a difficult thing to do because Cats is not complicated. I don't just mean the film. The show Cats is as simple as it is vague, and that's what makes it work so well. I'm not kidding. Just give me a minute here and it's all going to make sense. So let's just go down the whole show. It'll make explaining everything way easier because this show is just so awkward. Okay, so we open with this cluster of numbers, the prologue, Jellicle songs for Jellicle Cats, the naming of cats, and the invitation of the Jellicle Ball. And we're introduced to our Jellicle Cats, a club of cats that are all trying to get selected to go to something called the Heaviside Layer, where they can go and be reborn and have a new life. So without a second to spare, we're immediately thrown into a bunch of cats singing and dancing about each other, I guess to try and justify why they should die. Yay. We get Jenny Anydots, the old Gumby cat, Rum Tum Tugger, the rebellious cat, Grisabella, the glamour cat, who, for some reason, used to be a Jellicle cat, but isn't anymore. She's no longer welcome to the party. Then we get Busterfer Jones, the cat about town, Mungo Jerry and Rumpleteazer, the mischievous cats, Old Deuteronomy, the leader of the Jellicle cats, who gets to select who gets to go to the Heaviside Layer and be reborn, a song about dogs fighting each other for some reason, and then there's this dance number called the Jellicle Ball, fine. Then we have this kind of weird moment at the end of Act 1 where we hear some more of Grisabella's number, then she tries to dance in the Jellicle Ball, but she's like old or washed up or both or whatever, she just can't cut it. Then she sings a little bit of Memory, and then it's the end of Act 1. Act 2 opens with Old Dude singing about, I guess, being happy. We'll get into this later, just trust me. But then we get right back into some more cats, like Gus the theater cat, Skimbleshanks the railway cat, McCavity the mystery cat, who also technically isn't a Jellicle cat. And McCavity kidnaps Old Deuteronomy, only for Old Deuteronomy to immediately be saved by Mr. Mistopheles, the magical cat. Then we get Memory, Grisabella gets selected to go to the Heaviside Layer, and Old Deuteronomy sings to the audience before they all get to go home. Alright, so here's how Cats works. Those opening few numbers collectively function as our establishing number. It's that one song that introduces the audience to the world and sets up our story. It's the Star Wars title crawl in musical form. If you want to know more about how musical numbers work, broadly speaking, you can check out my video on a Goofy movie. So these opening few songs tell us about the world and the characters in it, exactly like what you'd expect from a musical. Total boilerplate opening to the show.
Do I actually see with my own very eyes a man who's not heard of a Jellicle cat? Jellicle cats meet once a year at the Jellicle Ball, where we all rejoice.
Do you know how to go to the Heaviside Layer?
Because Jellicles can and Jellicles do.
Announces the cat who can now be reborn and come back to a different Jellicle life.
They're Jellicle cats, they're going to the Jellicle Ball, one of them gets selected to die, which is weird as hell but fine, and that's the world we're going to be in for the next 3 hours. Great, whatever. Now in any other musical, following your opening number, you'd then expect to get a number where our protagonist walks out on stage and wails to the crowd about how unhappy they are and what they want in life. Something called the I Want song.
The line with the sky is the sea, it called me.
Now you've heard this before even if you don't think you have.
I want much more than this provincial life. I want adventure in the great wide somewhere. I want so much more than they've got planned.
But we don't get that in Cats. Instead, what we get are 2 hours of cats singing about each other and themselves. These are not I want songs like we get from our Disney princesses. Instead, these are what's called I am songs. Songs that tell us about characters without really divulging into their wants and desires.
Busterfer Jones is not skin and bone. In fact, he's remarkably fat.
a cat at the theater door.
Cymbals shine, the railway cat.
And that's because on top of not having a single protagonist that you would otherwise need the audience to emotionally latch onto, all of the cats in Cats want the same thing. They all want to be selected and go to the Heaviside Layer, which we learned in the opening number. It doesn't make sense to have an I Want song because there's no protagonist. In fact, if you wanted to take this one step further, you could argue that the Jellicle Cats are a character unto themselves and that this is technically their I Want song, where we find out that they all want the same thing, death. So there are no individual I Want songs in Cats, except for one. Grizabella the Glamour Cat used to be a Jellicle Cat, wants to be a Jellicle Cat again, and she's now singing about wanting to be a Jellicle Cat again. She is desperate. She's the only cat that doesn't explicitly want to go to the Heaviside Layer. She does not have the same wants as the other Jellicle Cats. What she wants is to go back to what she had and become a Jellicle Cat again. And this number causes the whole show to do a 180. See, I Am songs are typically reserved for the villains of the show. Not always, but frequently. Think about The Dentist, or I'm a Mean Green Mother from Outer Space from Little Shop of Horrors, or even something like I'm Shiny from Moana. Those numbers are literally, this is what I am. I'm a dentist, I'm a Mean Green Mother from Outer Space, I'm Shiny. They do very little to explore the wants and motivations of the characters, and that's on purpose. By making your villain less three-dimensional, it makes it easier for the audience to side with the protagonist, especially in a show that's supposed to be widely accessible for families and children of all ages. Most of Cats functions like Gaston's number. The cats all sing about each other the same way that LeFou sings about Gaston, but even though it's LeFou doing the singing, it's still a song defining Gaston. Now, that's not to say that you couldn't flesh out your villain a little more by giving them an I Want song. Hellfire is actually a really great example of an I Want song for a villain, but imagine how much more complicated and potentially confusing it's going to make your story if Gaston suddenly stopped halfway through the show and sang this huge ballad about how much he's been in love with Belle since he first saw her. It would get really complicated really quickly, which doesn't help sell your show to a theater full of families. Instead, you're typically going to want to give your villain an I Am song.
We don't like what we don't understand. In fact, it scares us, and this monster is mysterious at least.
But what that means for Cats is that as soon as we get to the ending and memory, one massive I Want song for just one character, all of a sudden it kind of hits you that we've been dealing with several hours of musical feline circle jerking. Once you hear memory, you'd have to be some kind of sociopathic narcissist to think, nah, give it to the fat cat, he has a monocle, I trust him. All of those I Am songs suddenly become irrelevant to the emotional turmoil that Grisabella's been holding on to. And it's why the cats all suddenly move to be more compassionate toward her. In the course of a single number, this whole show isn't about vanity anymore, it's about agony. And that's it. That's how Cats works. Cats is almost explicitly a case study in how effective an I Want song can really be, and that's it. The show's all fun and games until you get to the end and you realize Grisabella's really been suffering, then the show ends. The whole show hangs on memory having that single massive impact on the audience. Structurally speaking, it's the first 15 minutes of a Disney movie interrupted by 2 hours of almost completely meaningless spectacle. Cats as a musical is just one big climactic moment called memory, and that's it. And if you know anything about marketing and pop music, then you'll understand how this entire show became so famous by being carried by that one number. And this is where the sell for Cats is really important. Cats was the first ever mega musical, the stage equivalent of a Hollywood blockbuster, a musical that was internationally successful and known for its spectacle. Fun fact, it was actually the first ever musical to hook up each of their performers to an individual radio mic so they could project their voices across the hall while doing all that choreography. It's kind of poetic for where it ended up, but we're getting ahead of ourselves. It's such a simple moral that anyone can grasp onto it. It isn't difficult to get. Don't judge a book by its cover. You never know what other people are going through. That's it. Everyone can understand that, and it works. And so, in short, you'd think that this would be a perfect setup for a really, really successful film. Then they decided to add Part 2, Victoria. Okay, so you decided to add a protagonist to the story that, by design, is successful for not having a protagonist. Anyone see a problem with this? Victoria's addition to the film, I think, is the worst thing I've ever seen in an adaptation. And if you stick your head in a microwave for a couple seconds, you can see how and why they thought that the changes that they'd made would work. So we need to go over a few things in a little more detail in order for all this to parse. Midway through Act 1, we're introduced to Grisabella, and we learn that she used to be a Jellicle cat, but isn't anymore for some reason.
I've already seen this video, but I love it, so I'm rewatching it. I just kind of slapped my previous stuff on there because I just had it laying around, so I decided to make some new ones.
reason. Who cares why?
Would ever suppose that it was Grisabella, the glamour cat.
Then, at the end of Act 1, Grisabella tries to join in the Jellicle Ball, and Jellylorum and Jemima sing some of Grisabella's song. And while this is really subtle, it's also super important. Jellylorum is the cat that helps Gus later on. She's sympathetic to the older cats and wants to help them. And Jemima, well, she's going to come back later on. But it demonstrates that even some of the most sympathetic and naive cats know to avoid Grisabella at this point. So after a little bit of Grisabella's number, Grisabella tries to dance but isn't really able to pull it off, and in her frustration, we get the first instance of memory.
Midnight, not a sound from the pavement.
If you pay attention, Old Deuteronomy's trying to reach out to Grisabella, but he can't quite reach out to her because she's like all the way at the front of the stage and he's like in the back, so he can't quite reach. And anyway, so Grisabella does this weird hand thing, which is important, remember this, and then she walks off. It's the end of Act 1 and everyone in the audience goes away to pee. In the opening of Act 2, Old Deuteronomy sings this song called The Moments of Happiness.
We had the experience, but missed the meaning.
Which is all about how, like, looking back at happiness offers a different perspective on the experience. You will remember your happy memories differently from how you experience them. Fine. Inspired and realizing what's going on, Jemima perks up and starts singing Memory.
Let your memory lead you on an adventure.
Jemima now realizes that Grisabella is what Old Deuteronomy is looking for as far as making the Jellicle choice. At this moment, Jemima now knows that Grisabella would be perfect for the Jellicle choice at the end of the night. On top of that, if you listen to the music during this number, it's the exact same music as Grisabella the Glamour Cat.
Beyond any meaning we can assign to happiness.
You see the border of her coat is torn and stained with sand.
It isn't so much foreshadowing or leitmotif as much as it is just lighting a giant neon sign over his head saying, Grisabella's the Jellicle choice, none of you have a chance. Then the entire second act is full of red herrings. Gus is old and has happy memories, but he still has a purpose with the Jellicle cats. He's the theater cat. And I guess that it's implied that he teaches some of the younger cats, and you're then led to believe that maybe old Doot might pick Mr. Mistopheles because he brings him back after Macavity kidnaps him and he's a hero, but nope, it's not him either. Now, at the very end of the show, everyone's super happy that Old Deuteronomy is back, and Jemima gets on a car and sings a very short song called Daylight, set to the tune of Memory. This song is literally saying, it's almost daylight, it's almost time for Old Doot to make the choice. But then Grisabella shows up and ruins the party because she smells bad and the cats disperse. In a last-ditch effort, desperate to be a part of the club again, with absolutely no time left, Grisabella sings Memory to try and convince them to let her join.
Memory, turn your face.
We did it? Oh, come on.
Moonlight.
So yeah, I've been seeing posts like this for the last 2 years and it makes me want to shit a semi-truck. I don't get how people are spoon-fed so much horny to believe every single Pixar mom has a dump truck ass. Majority of people always piggyback on this character, which for a fact is not even a Pixar character, it's from a Disney short. So today I'm gonna show you all the Pixar moms that are qualifiable for with or without ass. A majority of them, spoilers, have no ass. Toy Story, Andy's mom. Tell me there's ass there, tell me! A Bug's Life. You look me in the eyes and tell me Thorax's ass. You tell me with a straight face. Toy Story 2.
Thorax's
same
ass.
flat mom, same flat ass. Monsters Inc. The monsters must have scared all the moms away because there's none here. Finding Nemo. There's literally a mom and her child in the dentist with no ass. I'm not gonna mention Marlin's wife or any of the other fish parents in the movie because they are fucking fish. Incredible. Okay, moving on. Cars. Even if there were moms here, you want to call this ass? Do you want to call this ass? Ratatouille. No Nobody has mothers in this movie, not even this filthy rat. Wally, how does anyone in the ship have children to begin with? But if you want to say they have a big ass, I don't know, go off, I guess? Up. Ellie couldn't have children, and Russell's mom is long gone. Do not count Kevin. Toy Story 3, Andy's mom still ain't got shit going on, but Bonnie's mom, she got a little something. Cars 2, Brave. Where do you see on this queen there's a fat royal ass there? What? No. Monsters University. Are you crazy? Get out of here! Inside Out. Riley's mom. Okay. She's got a little something. Okay. I'm not gonna lie. The Good Dinosaur. What? Finding Dory. There's only a short shot between the two moms, and every other mom is a fish! Cars 3. Coco. Y'all need your eyes checked. These are all mothers, and this one is literally bones! Incredibles 2. Never mind. Toy Story 4. Aside from Bonnie's mom, you got this woman in the store, and the one that lost her kid. Neither of them have nothing. Onward. All right. I get it. Soul, you are all off of your rockers! Puka, whether she's human or not, she's still a giant fish! Don't get me started. This movie hasn't even come out yet. Misinform people about Pixar mom's ass again, or I'm gonna kill you in my own fat ass!
The rage. Preach, King. And I really like this guy's little character here. I love his face. That's excellent.
But it isn't working, and she collapses on stage. Oh, but what's that? Jemima comes in like Black Panther in Endgame and starts cheering Grizabella on and tells her there's no time left, it's now or never. So she modulates up another chromatic median and guns it. Now pay attention here, because this is where Cats tends to lose people. Like, believe it or not, there's a really weird Christmassy kind of vibe to Memory. Everyone always thinks that the lyric here is Memory all alone in the moonlight.
Memory all alone in the moonlight.
Stop. Okay, good.
That's not it. That's a different part of the number.
Memory all alone in the moonlight.
The lyric here is actually and that's more important than you'd think. Cats gets mocked for being really sexually suggestive, and it is. But the truth is that the physical contact is a big motif in the show. It shows how all the cats are interconnected. The cats touch each other to show that they're not alone. Specifically, they'll do that weird hand thing, just like you see Grizabella trying to initiate whenever she's on stage. When she screams, "Touch me," it's far more literal than you might think. She's desperate to go back to being a part of the group, and she literally wants someone to touch her so she'll be accepted by the group again. Then we hear the line, "If you touch me, you'll understand what happiness is."
If you touch me, you'll understand what happiness is.
If you're the Jellicle cat that touches her and brings her back into the group, you'd be giving her the greatest gift in honor, having you for a daughter. I'm sorry, I couldn't resist. But now here's where you really need to pay close attention to the show. Whenever Grizabella's on stage, the younger cats all rush to her to try and figure her out and welcome her to the group. But the older cats always stop them before they can touch her and tell them no. When Grizabella comes back on stage for Memory, one of those cats is Victoria. This moment where Victoria touches Grizabella isn't significant because it's Victoria, it's significant because no one stopped Victoria. It's a universal welcome from the entire clan. That's why old Deuteronomy doesn't literally get up and touch her hand right here, because even though he thinks that Grizabella should be a part of the Jellicles again, it doesn't mean anything if the rest of the clan still rejects her. Victoria has no real significance here. In fact, the whole point is that Victoria is just some random cat. It could be Butthole the CGI cat for all I care. It doesn't matter. What matters is that no one rushed to stop Victoria, and now Grizabella is a Jellicle cat again.
I think
and
he
Tom
does.
Hooper basically took one long look at
It's
all
been
of
a while
that and
since I
said,
saw this one.
"That's nice." just to give you an appreciation of how much of a colossal misunderstanding of the picture book level story we're dealing with here. Look at this scene.
He's so mad.
Under no circumstance would Grizabella ever recoil from Victoria. Grizabella's more lonely than Pokimane subs. Cats is successful because it's 90% spectacle and lycra. But if you pay attention, there's actually a story. It's just being told backwards from the perspective of the antagonists. This is what it would look like if you spent an entire Mario game inside Bowser's castle. Things would be really repetitive and weird right up until the last 15 minutes when all the action happened. And Hooper threw all of the story away by adding Victoria. First off, he gets rid of Jemima, which, like, she's critical to getting Grizabella back into the club. Then they give Victoria this audience self-insert aspect to her so that Monkastrap has someone to talk to, but as a protagonist, she's, like, probably the worst thing anyone's ever done since giving Sonic teeth. On top of that, Victoria and her number, Beautiful Ghosts, almost entirely replaces everything that happens at the end of Act 1 and beginning of Act 2. In no small part, Victoria's character completely replaces any and all relationship Old Deuteronomy has with Grizabella.
I don't even know
while
about
also
that.
overshadowing and misinterpreting Jemima's role in the stage show. The whole point of adding Victoria was to make the show more accessible. If you're gonna do that, then it stands to reason that you're gonna bend this show to be more like a standard musical, or at the very least move it in the direction of one of those Disney movies. So we really should get a number for Victoria before anyone else. Her I Want song to tell us that she wants to be a Jellicle cat, because everybody wants to be a cat, because Cat's the only cat who knows. I'm gonna stop, I'm sorry. Anyway, so by not giving us a Victoria Disney Princess, the Wizard and I Want song moment until halfway through the show, there's like no attachment to her whatsoever. Who gives a crap about her? She basically doesn't have a personality. Then her I Want song, Beautiful Ghosts, is basically telling Grizabella, oh yeah, well your life has actually been really great. I was dropped off in a bag with no friends or family. At least you have beautiful ghosts.
But at least you have beautiful ghosts.
Which, like, excuse me, miss, this is a Wendy's. Belittling the emotional core of your show is, stupid, but it's a nuanced stupid, because they aren't just diminishing Grizabella's plight, they're also breaking Victoria's already senseless character. Does Victoria know what's up with the Jellicle cats or not? She's supposed to be the naive one that doesn't know anything so that we can have everything explained to the audience. But at the same time, she's sitting here lecturing Grizabella about her life like she knows, but she doesn't. Or does
hello.
she? Does Monkastrap need to show her the ropes, or does she already have it down? Because she seems to know all the words when it matters. Does Victoria know what's going on or not? Because
Oh, hey, I was lurking on y'all earlier playing Mother 3 because I haven't played that yet, and I don't care about spoilers. The only musical I like is the original Cats, because it's just stupid fun with a little bit of a story in there, and that's the whole point of it. And also I like Sweeney Todd because it's about cannibalism and that's badass. Well, not like I don't condone cannibalism, but like it's dark humor. Shut up. Anyway, yeah, I'm working on a drawing prompt nonsense, and I'm doing some weird doodles, and I'm watching videos. And if anyone wants to recommend a video, you can, as long as it's not like something that I shouldn't be playing on Switch, you know what I mean.
if she does, then her whole I Want song is basically saying, yeah, being a Jellicle cat does sound awesome, and you did totally screw it up. Sucks to be you. Which is a really callous thing to do to the backbone of your show. Then when Old Deuteronomy gives us that limp-wristed delivery of the moments of happiness, and don't worry, we're gonna get to that, it almost feels like it's for Victoria.
Yeah, unfortunately, all the Brazzers fans are going to be
At
disappointed.
best, a severely confused character that makes almost no sense and comes at the cost of the core of the only story that you really get in Cats. So not only does Victoria's inclusion detract from the central point of Grizabella's emotional storyline, it actually invalidates it. It actively works against everything that makes this show work, which is why it's all so confusing. This whole show is just memory and 2.5 hours of justifying memory, and you've almost single-handedly annihilated basically everything about how it works. The lyric is literally touch me, and Grizabella here does not want to be touched. How simple do you need this to be? Oh, but if you pay attention to what happens right before Jennifer Hudson screams, touch me, you'll find that Victoria is actually touching her. How did you get this so wrong? And then they give Jemima's line in memory to Victoria, which is really weird.
Sunlight through the trees in summer.
Like, if Victoria's entire song is explaining that Grisabella's life is better than hers because she got to be a Jellicle Cat, then why is she suddenly so concerned with bringing her back into the club? What does Victoria want besides having what Grisabella had, and why didn't she express that in her number? What is her motivation for wanting to help her so badly?
Daylight, see the dew on her sunflower.
And again, I want to reiterate, this song isn't some magical song that summons Grisabella or anything. It's literally just telling us that it's daylight. But this film gets that confused and thinks it's the only reason Grisabella comes to the Jellicle Ball. Like, without Victoria, Grisabella would have never shown up to the party and tried again. It completely removes all of Grisabella's agency. Victoria's the one trying to explain to Grisabella that she's got it good, while also being the one that's trying to bring her back into the Jellicle Cats. So cool, that doesn't make any sense. And then we finally get to the end of memory, and old Deuteronomy sings this line from Beautiful Ghosts.
Pinterest.
For a reason.
All your
Garbage
memories
website.
of pain, let them go.
I'm gonna straight up trace this from.
Like, that doesn't have anything to do with, like, anything, unless you're literally about to kill Grisabella and she's gonna dance with ghosts because she's gonna be dead. She just wants to be a Jellicle Cat again. Grisabella's entire character arc is the absolute opposite of this Kylo Ren let the past die crap. She's so desperate to go back to her old life that she dies to be reborn into this club. So cool, that also doesn't make any sense. She's not letting go of the old memories. That's the point. You just don't understand, like, how Cats works, bro. On top of replacing the relationship that old Deuteronomy has with Grisabella, Victoria just gets in the way of everything that Cats has going for it, narratively speaking. And from here, we get into all the performance issues. Part 3, music is hard. Some of the performances in this film are absolutely pathetic. At times, this film feels like an exercise in musical humiliation. I don't even know where to start with this. We might as well dive into the part that everyone likes to rip on.
When the day's hustle and bustle is done, then the Gumby Cat's work is but hardly begun.
I'm speechless.
That part was bad.
Not just because this is a bad performance, it is, but there's something really awkward about it. If you haven't noticed yet, she's not singing the melody.
But when the day's hustle and bustle is done, then the Gumby Cat's work is but hardly begun.
She sounds so out of breath.
When all the family's in bed and asleep, she tucks up her skirts to the basement to creep.
And when all the family's in bed and asleep, I tuck up my skirts to the basement to creep.
Bad
Forget
English
the fact that she's
accent.
having some really serious intonation problems for a minute, because believe it or not, most of this isn't actually Rebel Wilson's fault. In an excerpt I found from the score from the Cats wiki, because of course that's a thing, you can see that they labeled Jelly Lorem with having the melody in this trio section, and that's the line that they gave Rebel Wilson to sing all by herself. But according to the score, Jelly Lorem is sandwiched in between the other two singers.
She's deeply concerned with the ways of the mice. Their behavior's not good and their manners not nice.
If you're like me and hear this top voice as the melody, then when you listen to Rebel Wilson's performance, it doesn't sound like she's singing the melody. It sounds like she's singing one of the harmonies with no one actually singing the melody. In short, in changing this from a trio to a solo, they've opened up a situation where some people are going to hear this as a melody with no
tracing a
harmony,
shrimp
and
for a
others are
reason,
going
I
to hear this as a
promise.
harmony with no melody. Combine that with the fact that Wilson here is already having some
Is
difficulty with this
autistic
number, and
process.
Hooper's not giving her any of that perfect pitch treatment.
Whatever we deny or embrace.
Hello, that emote is adorable.
Yeah, some of you didn't believe me when I said that they auto-tune everybody, but all of this just leads to a really, really rough performance. It's like bizarre. I want to use the word unacceptable, but that doesn't feel strong enough. It's like your actor forgetting their lines halfway through a take and keeping that in the final cut of the film. We're like collectively having to go through that middle school music theory exercise of find the
Hello.
melody in real time, and it's just not something that I'd expect to be a problem for film.
Oh yeah, y'all can let me know if the volume is too high or too low, and also you can totally just like link, preferably just like YouTube videos, because their fucking censorship these days is way too strict. But also I'm not affiliated, so I can just like play copyrighted music and stuff like that, and I do not care. All they can do is mute me. But yeah, I'm just watching this video about Cats being bad. Well, the original Cats is good. Latest Cats sucks.
with a $100 million
Evidently.
budget. Maybe the top line was outside of Rebel Wilson's range, so they made her sing one of the harmonies,
like
or
watching
maybe they
people
literally just
complain
looked at the
about
label
things
and
isn't
saw
fucking weird.
melody, and that's what they gave to her. Fine, but either way, it's like, why? And I can't believe that I'm saying this, but this is barely the tip of the iceberg when it comes to this number. There's a great little moment here that I haven't seen a lot of people talk about. Listen to this part where she says, "They can't keep me in this kitchen."
I can't keep being in this kitchen.
Don't get cocky.
Aside from the obvious horror show, if you pay attention, the cockroaches aren't dancing in sync with the music.
Keep being in this kitchen.
Don't get cocky.
And I don't just mean the animation, the tap dancing is offbeat.
Don't get cocky.
The whole point of putting together this Night Terror on Valium, the whole point of this rotoscope digital fur technology was to capture the essence of live dancing, which right here literally isn't in sync with the music. This is the first number, and we aren't sure if we're hearing the melody, and the dancers aren't in sync with the music. Should we just stop and call it here? Is there any point of continuing? Oh, sure there is. Because, like, hey, if we can't figure out if the star is singing the melody, and we can't get the dancers to keep to a beat, why don't we just add random music for absolutely no reason?
I hate them so much.
It's tough to figure out if you did the melody thing on purpose with your actors, so it kind of sounds like she's singing a harmony to herself, and you can't get the tap dancers to tap to a beat, but you still think that you're good enough to add child-faced mice scatting to this horror show. Yeah, good choice there, bud. Believe it or not, there's a point to the structure in Jenny Anydots' number. It opens with Munkustrap singing at a slower tempo before it speeds up and gets picked up by the trio, only to slow down again when it gets picked up by Munkustrap, and then they pass the number back and forth.
I have a Gumby cat in mind. Her name is Jenny Anydots.
So she's born from the lot of disorderly louts, a troop of well-disciplined, helpful Boy Scouts.
The whole point is that these two tempi and the different performers reflect Jenny Anydots' character. During the day, she sleeps around, like literally is asleep in different places in her home, lazing about.
All day she sits beneath the stair, or on the steps, or on the mat.
But then at night, she teaches the cockroaches and mice, like, things that would help them get a job or something.
Hashtag relatable, am I right, gremlins? I'm sorry, I'm like chronically on Tumblr.
There's a dichotomy to this character that's represented in the music. They also represent it in the costuming when she takes off one of the costumes on stage. So by having Rebel Wilson constantly speed up and slow down however and whenever she wants to
the basement to creep. I am deeply concerned with the ways of the mice.
She's deeply concerned with the ways of the mice. Their behavior's not good and their manners not nice.
Because I guess someone thought it would make the performance gooder, you're throwing the entire purpose of the structure of this song out the window. The entire effect that makes this piece of music work is just gone. This is such an amazing failure at such a basic level, it verges on parody. Like, are we supposed to be the joke here? Even if they didn't look like something that crawled out of Willy Wonka's tunnel, the music is almost pitiful. Then we get Rum Tum Tugger and Bustopher Jones that are constantly interrupted by Rebel Wilson and James Corden's improv.
I can dance how he dances too.
Let me see.
Yep, okay, nice and good. Everybody ready? And 5, 6, 7, and just before.
And I don't want to spend too much time on this because other people have already pointed out how awkward the improv is, but I really want to focus on Hooper cutting the music the way he does in this show because I just can't believe how much he decided to cut up the music in this musical.
Don't know
So
why
many
anyone
numbers of this
likes
musical were
improv.
interrupted for completely pointless reasons, and it absolutely ruins the music in this show. Like,
I think
Hooper
the only
looked to one
benefit
of
is
his
improv is
assistants
for
and
the
was like,
people who are
"Hey,
in the
you know what would
improv,
make
because
the
they
music
seem to be
better?
having fun.
Less of it. Like, the absolute worst culprit here has to be Mr. Mistopheles, which
What
at
is
times feels more
awkward?
agonizing than watching Artax in that swamp because it starts and stops over and over
Mr. Mistopheles.
and over
Oh my god.
and
you're so
over
right.
and over again.
Get him a Viagra.
So let's get a little positive
it's
spin on
okay,
it here.
buddy.
Let's
It
go over
happens
some
to everyone.
songwriting 101. You never really want to have your numbers start and finish at the exact same energy. You'll tend to want your song to grow in energy over time, especially if you're writing in this poppy musical theater kind of style. So what happens is that you can break down all the songs in Cats into two groups: songs that start soft and quiet and songs that start loud and fast. What Weber does for the slow songs, which is most of them, is he'll start with a solo, then build up over the course of the number, and then by the end he's pulling out all the stops with the ensemble and the orchestration and the harmonies, and it has a big finish. McCavity is a great example. Starts with a solo,
McCavity's a mystery cat. He's called the Hidden Paw.
and by the end, everyone's on board. And it's a similar story with Mr. Mistopheles. Starts off with a solo,
Ever a cat so clever as a magical beast, Mistopheles.
and by the end of the whole number, you get the whole ensemble. The brass is coming out of the orchestra. Rum Tum Tugger is rum tum tugging the harmonies. It's great. But in the case of numbers that start fast and end fast, Weber pulls out a different trick. If you start fast, the only way to make it feel like you're speeding up is to drop the tempo. And that's how you stop a high energy number from feeling like it's stagnating. A great way to make it feel like you're making your high intensity number even more intense is to drop out for a second before throwing everything you have at the audience.
Now it's time to rock the show. Come on, you are the star tonight. Daddy, don't you know?
With numbers like Rum Tum
Fantastic
Tugger and
example.
Skimbleshanks that start fast and end fast, Weber gives them a reason to slow down so that we can get that sense of musical acceleration. Rum Tum Tugger gets this little moment,
Sniff and sniff. Little like what I find for myself. No. So you catch me and I ride up to my ears and you put
and I actually love this moment in the number where he kicks the ball and Mr. Mistopheles is supposed to catch it, but it totally goes over his head. But Skimbleshanks does something similar. It has that fake train fall apart on stage just to give us a little breather. And Weber doubles down on Mr. Mistopheles by completely cutting out when Mistopheles brings Old Deuteronomy back. Only to then come back as big and loud as possible when the number ends. Even if you don't get something like a literal tempo change, you might break for a dance number, which keeps the music going even if the vocals stop. And that's really important because since the music continues, while the energy might feel like it could be dipping a little bit, it maintains the impression that it's all one continuous piece of music because the music never stops. That's not what happens in the film, because Mr. Mistopheles starts and stops over and over and over again, and it loses any and all momentum that it builds up over and over and over again. We're restarting the tune from the very beginning 6 times. It's clear what Hooper thinks he's doing here. He thinks that he's dangling a carrot on a stick in front of his audience, taunting them with one of the more popular numbers, but it ruins how the number actually works. Instead of baiting his audience by prolonging one long, exciting piece of music, he's giving us 6 smaller, repetitive, boring pieces of music. On top of that, every time it restarts, it's with a soloist who doesn't sound like they're plugged into a click track. So it just drags and drags.
Did they really copyright that one part?
Was there
There's absolutely no reason to do this.
I
If it
hate
isn't
that
a literal
version of
pause
Old
in the music so a
Deuteronomy.
talk show host can get hit in the
Deuteron-
nuts, then it's a needless tempo drop in the
Old
middle of a number when a
motherfucker.
character
I
shows
hate her.
up.
I can't stand her.
I would appear, and I'd saunter to the
Skimbleshanks look like he's right out of a gay porno and therefore is the best designed character in the entire movie.
And I'd saunter to the rear. I'd be busy in the luggage van.
I love this number, and I think that having Skimbleshanks tap in a way that makes it sound like he's a steam engine firing up is a really, really cool effect, but it completely halts the number. It almost makes it feel like it cuts it in half. And there's no point in interrupting a poorly performed piece of music with brand new, meaningless music. As great as it is that you have Jason Derulo handling this cadenza, just leave him on screen. Stop cutting away. And when it comes to the end with Judi Dench's performance and the addressing of Cats,
She
Weber
stares
does
right
what
into
Hooper
the camera
thought
for
he was
like
doing.
3 minutes. I hate it.
So first, your memory, I'll jog.
So first your memory,
You're the real old dudes.
It's an absolute nightmare. This
She's
is
a fake,
probably
she's
the
evil.
most difficult number to perform because it's supposed to start with Old Deuteronomy singing very softly.
You've heard of several kinds of cat.
And then he continuously builds and builds over the course of his solo.
But how do you address a cat?
Until he's at his absolute maximum.
And say a cat is not a dog.
And then the ensemble repeats his last couplet. Then it dies down again.
With cats, some say one rule is true.
And it continues like the beginning. Old Dude starts soft, builds throughout the solo before he's at his max. The ensemble comes in, but then this time he continues singing and he starts singing the harmony only to end on this absolutely huge note. I think it's a high B. The problem here is that Judi Dench just wasn't given the right direction. No one sat her down and explained to her how this number worked. She gives this spoken word-esque performance, which means that she doesn't build during her solos. The ensemble comes out of nowhere.
And say a cat is not a dog.
And when they finish, it feels like a cadence. Only to go back to Judi Dench doing the exact same thing at the exact same intensity for another whole minute.
With cats, some say one rule is true.
It's why the ending just has no punch. Compare this
To have his personal taste, and so in time you'll reach your aim and call him by his name.
to this.
Personal taste, and so in time you'll reach your aim and call him by his name.
You can't look at a single number in this film and not find some kind of
I can't
fairly
look directly
serious
at the
problem
film.
with it. Like even with the opening, if you pay attention, you can hear that the ensemble just isn't together.
Above and beyond, there's still one name left over.
And that's the name that you never will guess.
The name that no human research can discover.
Where did all the humans go in that version? It's like the city is empty. I think they said they ate the humans.
And then at times you can hear the choreography kind of getting in the way of the vocal performances. Like right here, whenever you see a cat jumping or landing, that impact throws off their ability to maintain consistent breath support.
Angelicals do, angelicals come.
Angelicals can, angelicals do.
And throughout the Mungo Jerry and Rumple teaser number, Mungo Jerry is constantly doing these movements that's throwing off his ability to hold notes.
For we are incurably given to rob. Ramp. Oh, taser.
And while we're here, why did they use a different version of Mungo Jerry and Rumple teaser? This one's in 4/4, but the original one, or at least the one that everybody knows from the 98 film, has parts that are in 7/8.
When the family assembles for Sunday dinner, their minds made up that they won't get dinner.
And I feel like the 7/8 version is way better than what they put in the film. And then there's Growl Tiger. Why? The lyrics literally say that McCavity is a ginger cat.
McCavity's a ginger cat. McCavity's a ginger cat. He's very tall and thin.
It's the words in the song, dude. The song literally describes what he's supposed to look like. Between memory and this, I'm starting to question if there's a 100% literacy rate in Hollywood directors. I can't get over just how bad almost every aspect of the music in this show is. Even if they did somehow figure out how to make these human-cat hybrids without frightening children, there would still be these enormous musical issues. It's just
me,
so
I'm
painfully
children.
apparent that Hooper doesn't understand how or why these numbers work. And in the process of messing the numbers up, he tried to course correct them by adding to them, which only made them much, much worse. But the thing about all this is that he never really had a chance in the first place, because he ruined this show before he even started. Part 4, Stolen Time.
A lot of Les Mis is what they call recitative. Okay, so the material is really suitable for this kind of freedom. I do the soliloquy, and it starts with, "What have I done, sweet Jesus, what have I done? Become a thief in the night, become a dog on the run. Have I fallen so far, and is the hour so late?" Okay, so that's if you were singing it
I've never
literally
seen
like
Les
that.
Mis.
I can go out there, and some takes I'll be like, "What have I done?
I heard that Les Mis got
Sweet Jesus, what have I done? Become a thief in the night?
Become a dog on the run. Have I fallen so
Like, okay, so
far,
Les
and is
Mis.
the hour so late?
Tiny rant about why I like don't want to watch Les Mis unless maybe like one of the older ones. Besides that, I don't usually like musicals. Okay, so Les Mis and The Hobbit, I think it was, came out in like the same year, and freaking Les Miserables got the award from that one award company. Award companies are garbage, but this one made me lose all trust in them. But Les Miserables got the costuming and like special effects makeup award over The Hobbit, with all the dwarves and the elves and the wizards and the hobbits. Yeah, so I'm like spiteful against that movie.
Now, I already have a video about how the live recording on Les Mis was really bad, and
I know, like,
originally I was
wasn't
going
their
to talk
fault,
about this
but
problem in that video, but honestly,
I'm not gonna be able to watch it
seemed
without
too
thinking of
nerdy.
that.
Like, who would really care about this? But lo and behold, Hooper dragged it into Cats as well. Okay, so originally I had like a half-an-hour segment here talking about the differences between like aria and recitative, and then the differences between recitativo secco and recitativo accompagnato, and it all got really complicated. From everything I'm getting here, he's describing a secco performance, but most of Les Mis is really accompagnato at best, when it isn't almost explicitly an aria, or at the very least an arioso, but I'm not going to sit here and explain what all that means because we're going to be here all day. In short, he's not completely wrong, but I feel like he's missed some really serious nuances about how like music and opera works. Like for starters, I feel like the soliloquy in Les Mis is a little bit more of an aria because it's just Valjean singing about his feelings and his thoughts and nothing's really happening in the story, but we're just not going to get into it. What this gets down to is that he's talking about taking some really serious
the only thing
liberties
that
with
matters
the
there
performance
is that
when the
awards
music just doesn't really allow for it.
societies,
Check out
committees
how
are
what Jackman's
stupid
talking about
garbage.
here
I've always known they were,
snowballed
but that was
into
the
some
last
really
straw.
serious problems.
There's a dance where
Makeup
if they need
special
a
effects.
millisecond more to form a thought before
Putting
they express
some
it, they
dirt
can
on
take that
people
time.
I feel my shame inside me.
versus turning them
The
into
actors
dwarves.
are leading that piano. That is a huge relationship between the actors and the pianist.
For whatever reason, whether it was Hooper or Jackman or some other music director, producer, whatever, they decided that what they should do is have the actors lead the performance and then have their pianist that they had on set follow along. I can only speculate why they wanted to do this. Hooper really seems to lack the musical vocabulary to really describe what he wants in any meaningful detail.
The click track gives us the pulse, where the piece is flowing.
Which is basically a sound that the orchestra hear in their ears. The thing that's taken me years to learn about orchestras is that you can direct them like you direct an actor. Careful of being too romantic. I mean, like, it's written very romantically, but what he's singing about is the loss of absolutely all his friends.
Which in terms of him being the director kind of feels like finding out that your math teacher can't count. But in trying to have the actors lead the music, what ended up happening on Les Mis was that the actors basically did whatever the hell they wanted with the music, and then the poor piano player was just left to try really hard. In one scene, you can see the conductor desperately trying to keep this show together, but he just looks so defeated.
You will sense that they want to slow down.
And the night is closing in.
And I either conducted a bit faster or slower, and we sort of did it together, and it's worked. I think it's really worked.
But the actors are singing, the piano player's doing their best with whatever the hell the actors are deciding to do, and that's how they got their takes. But in leaving the actors to do their own thing with the tempo, it created an egregious problem with the orchestral recording in post. Since all the actors basically didn't keep a beat, the orchestra had to do rhythmic backflips to keep up. It's agonizing to hear them describe what they're doing.
Normally, when you're composing film music, you keep the click either completely regular or with very few changes, so that the orchestra can use it as a simple thing to follow. In this film, because the actors are made lots of choices about tempo, the conductor has to memorize these flows in tempo, and then the orchestra have to learn it.
It goes slightly faster on the downbeat of 66, then beats 3 and 4 is slightly slower.
Not to say it's the wrong way round,
He's
but
all
it
so
is.
annoyed.
And we all learned how to do it. How to manipulate, to push, to drive, to breathe with the actors. At the end of a long day, this was the end of our third session we got, so that's sort of 7 hours later of playing. We get to the People's Song. We played it sort of quite well, but we just didn't get into the moment, into the spirit of it, because we were a bit tired.
Just give him a breather, just give him a little.
Yeah. I need 2 minutes.
Yes, I know.
Oh, no, I can't go straight on there.
Do you need something? Do you want a drink? Do you want a cocktail?
Just give me 2 minutes. Just give me 2 minutes.
And Hooper and McIntosh were so oblivious to this entire process that they put all of this in the special features as if it was some kind of triumph. As if the orchestra managed to conquer some magnificent beast without realizing that they were the problem in the first place. This is the most quixotic thing I've ever seen in a film production since The Room, and I mean that. And it shows. Les Mis is a metric nightmare.
Posture, hydration, do a stretch, save your progress check.
And when it came to Cats, they dialed all this up to 11.
It's all about creating a frame where the actors got incredible freedom to make choices in the moment that bring alive the lyrics.
They even brought Simon Hayes back, who won an Oscar for his work on Les Mis, and rightly so. That was an insane amount of work that he had to do for Les Mis.
The first time that Tom and I met, he was talking to me about the honesty and the energy that you get from a live vocal recording. We've pioneered live vocal recordings on Les Mis, but this is Les Miserables on steroids.
In an article penned by the different audio leads on set discussing what they did to facilitate Hooper's expectations while working on Cats, Victor Chaga, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right, the Pro Tools music editor, specifically outlines how they rigged up this 5-track musical system where at the press of a button, they could switch between a playback of pre-recorded music, like a mock-up of the orchestral track, a playback of an orchestral track but with a live piano over the top to help guide the performers with certain cues that they might be struggling with, a live piano playback with a click track based on a tempo map of the pre-recorded material, a live piano playing but with a few reference clicks from a click track, like having a metronome count you in but then the piano goes from there, or finally, a setting where they can let the piano player play completely free, following whatever the actors decided to do on stage. And all of this was happening in the middle of takes. One part of a number could be played to a click track, while the next would be performed alongside the piano player, following whatever the actor wanted to do, and then back again. It is stunning to read about, because it almost feels like the audio equivalent of Mythbusters on meth. Creating this absurd playback system is kind of like strapping a rocket engine onto a 3-wheeled shopping cart. Like, yeah, it is extraordinarily impressive that you managed to pull this off, and I feel really sorry for the team of, and let's be real here, top-of-the-line audio engineers. These people are literally at the top of their field. Imagine if you had world-class cancer researchers working on a marketing campaign for the health benefits of mouthwash enemas. That's about what we're dealing with here. So when the ensemble feels like they're suddenly listening to a click track, it's because they are. Someone pushed a button, and now they all have a metronome in their ears. Suddenly, we have an explanation as to why it sounds like Rebel Wilson is being left musically unsupervised on a set right here where she's messing with the tempo. If it sounds like these soloists are waiting for a click track to start in their ear, that might be because the whole set is waiting for them to do just that. And here's where a really great example of this misunderstood, warped metric technique.
Oh, yeah, I was gonna, remember. Probably no one's there but Marcira is right now, but if you think of I was thinking that I wanted to try out that thing they were doing on Drawfee where you pick a Dark Souls boss and turn it into a Pokemon. If you can think of one, let me know. Otherwise, I'm gonna try to do the Gaping Dragon because that's my favorite one so far that I've seen.
Is that its absolute most...
Just really have to cover the music in this part, oh my god. Over this part.
It's Gandalf, and some people really like this performance, and that's fine. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion, even if it's wrong. Just listen to that clarinet and flute, try to follow him around in the background. It's absolutely not.
They seriously DMCA'd that part where he's basically just talking.
I don't know if this is what Hooper wanted or not, but I feel like now's the best time to try and explain what I think Hugh Jackman was talking about. What I think he was trying to describe was rubato. Rubato, or tempo rubato, translates to stolen time. This is what happens when a performer messes with the internal meter and rhythm of a phrase in order to make the performance seem more natural and expressive. Betty Buckley's performance of Memory is actually a really great example of this. While you're listening to this, pay attention to where her and the orchestra separate.
The
orchestra's keeping the beat, they're playing the melody as it's written. You might even go so far as to say they're playing a really boring version of the melody. But Betty Buckley is playing with the internal structure of the meter to make it more expressive and organic. She's moving where the rhythms and beats are in the line that she's singing to fit how she wants to express the melody. Listen again. Now compare that to Elaine Page's performance.
I don't remember what Schmo looks like.
And now compare that to Barbra Streisand. Rubato is a component of phrasing, which is basically how and why you perform a piece of music the way that you do. Phrasing is the art of performance. And it's an extremely complicated subject to try and cover. In short, that's why people get doctorates in music performance. Now, there are a few things about rubato that you gotta know. You don't just speed up and slow down whenever you want. Whatever time you take, you have to give back. That's why it's called stolen time. Otherwise, people will slow down during the tricky parts and then they'll speed up when it gets easy again. And you see this a lot in inexperienced performers. You could spot it a mile away. Like, oh, say you've got to deliver a line really quickly or something and your diction might not be up to par. Hint, hint.
She's deeply concerned with the ways of the mice. Their behavior's not good and their manners not nice.
All the things to copyright claim, are you kidding me?
To keep the overall structure of the piece. You can mess with the internal structures, but not the overall form. You can't be so fast or slow that you finish the chorus while the orchestra's still playing the verse. One of the ways that these performers are able to stay on track so well when they're messing with the rhythm is that they use the orchestra to keep their place. Typically, you don't want to rubato your orchestra on the fly. You don't just want to suddenly slow them down because you feel like it. If you do, everyone will speed up and slow down at a different rate, and it's a complete mess. Now, let's go back to what's happening with He's all over the place, and the orchestra is...
You know, like, okay, so in part 3 of JoJo, they censored out, they, like, put a giant black smear over Jotaro's face when he was smoking, because smoking was too scary, but so was Rohan licking a spider, but they also put that on the same degree as, like, a couple of the instances when they were fighting that rat that melted flesh, when they would censor some of those instances, but they didn't censor like the cube of melted rats or like the two old people who were melted into each other in their own refrigerator being eaten alive by the rats. And you're like they didn't. There's some stuff in JoJo that would have made sense if they'd censored it for like gore or questionable content or whatever, but they censored the spider gore, and they didn't censor some other. Anyway, that's what this is like. They're copyright claiming Gandalf basically talking as dressed as a freaking cat monster. They chose to censor that. They chose that people couldn't hear that.
The metronome.
That's
so
forbidden.
Instead of getting a genuinely rubato effect,
sure.
it's just
All
warped
right.
the whole meter.
Yeah, buddy.
Listen to the original. You can actually hear Susan Tanner deliver some of these lines a little more rubato, and it makes it feel a little more personal, more natural.
Gus is the cat at the theater door. His name, as I ought to have told you before.
But here, it's just kind of an awkward spoken word soliloquy with some strange music in the background. Probably because Hooper was thinking, well, this is Gus the theater cat, and we have Ian, servant of the secret fire, wielder of the flame of Anor McKellen. Why not have him deliver it like a soliloquy? The issue is that they didn't completely commit to it.
Never half-ass two things.
whole ass one thing.
So McKellen goes up there, delivers it in his own way, and then the piano player just had to do their best to keep up, which then translated to these awkward woodwinds doing everything they could to try and maintain a melody.
Gus is the cat at the theater door.
As opposed to the almost lullaby quality that we're supposed to get with the orchestra in the stage version.
For he isn't the cat that he was in his prime, though his name was quite famous, he says, in his time.
What are they even protecting? Are they embarrassed? Do they not
Similar
want
effect with how
people to
Dench
hear
delivers her
these?
lines at the end of the show. It's supposed to be this big show-stopping moment when Old Dude sends a cat to the Heaviside lair. But instead it almost feels like Old Deuteronomy is sundowning. And just like the bizarre cuts in almost every number, you can hear this
3
effect
heads.
everywhere. Like while Mr. Mistopheles drags on from all the cuts, there are moments where Laurie Davidson is pulling this number off.
And not long ago, this phenomenal cat produced 7 kittens right out of a hat.
But the real problem here is that instead of rubatoing to make the performance sound more natural and expressive, he's warping the melody to the point where the rhythm and the delivery is the exact same in every line.
I can walk on the narrowest
Didn't they draw
rail.
that on Droppy?
I can pick any card from a pack. I am equally cunning with dice.
He can pick any card from the pack. He's equally cunning with dice. He's always deceiving you into believing that he's only hunting for mice. Ow!
So instead of coming off like a more natural music performance, it makes it sound like more of an artificial spoken performance. You can even get this effect in Jennifer Hudson's memory.
Is it a whole? Is it like a whole hand? It has one down here.
Right here where she says, "easy to leave me," it
And
feels
it's
like the
5
orchestra
centimeters.
hesitates for just a moment so they can place the note where she does.
Try. Gotta figure out some color stuff on this and this.
It's really subtle, but once I noticed it, I couldn't help but feel like the orchestra's working against her a little bit here. If I play other versions of Memory, you can tap your foot along with the orchestra and the performers dance around the meter. But it's not quite as exact when it comes to Hudson's version. Instead of having the orchestra supporting the performer like we get with Buckley or Page, here the orchestra is following Hudson, and you get these moments where it almost feels like the orchestra's trying to anticipate where and when she's going to land on those notes. It's holding her back ever so slightly. And believe it or not, there's an eye-opening revelation about Hollywood's methods that you can glean from this film. Part 5, Dance Rehearsal. So I kind of lied to you a little bit. Back when I said you can't rubato an ensemble like an orchestra, you can. But it's really difficult to do on the fly, so you don't. Instead, you do it in rehearsal. See, so many people have only ever performed in a scholastic environment where the rehearsals were where you learned the words and the music and you all learned to play together. That's not even remotely close to how it goes in the professional world. You walk in already knowing all the words and the music. Or in the case of most orchestras, you're already good enough to sight read it. And the whole point of the rehearsals is that the conductor tells you how they want to perform it. The phrasing. They'll say things like, I want to slow down at measure 30, whatever, and watch me on the downbeat of letter Q, I really like to lean into that fermata. You write all that down with a pencil, and then you're ready to go for the show. And in the case of you accompanying soloists on stage, this is where and how the soloists, performers, everyone all comes together and decides how they want to play what. Never in the history of forever have you ever had someone walk on stage and just hope that the orchestra would follow whatever the hell they're doing. That is so impossibly backwards that just writing this made my blood pressure rise. You would never, ever just suddenly slow down on a whim and expect the orchestra to bend around you. I don't know how or why Timothy Hooper and the powers that be have all of these horrible preconceived notions about music that are all just entirely wrong, but they, along with this film, have single-handedly proved that we do not, in any way, shape, or form, live in a meritocracy. This is ass backwards to how live performances work. Hell, even pre-recorded ones, you never record the voice and then write the music around it. Ever. Ever. There are countless videos and stories of someone screwing up on stage, and then the orchestra just keeps chugging along. They don't care if you messed up. That's not their job. They play the music, and you have to pray to God that your brain fires up again before the end of the piece. Best case scenario, your conductor's going to give you a sympathetic frown, tell you to do your best, and then go right back to the music. There's no reason to do what they did. Here's a kick-ass question that no one ever decided to answer. Why did they need a 5-track system that helped the performers sing to certain cues and eventually elect to just not keep the beat? Why did they need additional piano cues to help them keep their place? Because, and heaven forgive me if I'm overstepping my bounds here, but it sounds like they just didn't know the music. If you're changing the accompaniment in the middle of takes to help your performers keep track of what they're doing with the music, then guess what? Your performers don't know the music. James Corden got top billing for this show, and he only had to perform his song in 20-second chunks. And then he spent the rest of his time on set deep-throating fake champagne. Hey Tommy, Tombo, my man, if you wanted to capture the live energy of a real performance, then maybe you could, I don't know, treat it like a real performance. Talk to the music department and your performers. Figure out what everyone wants to do for their number. Then have the orchestra record the music in the way that it's going to appear in the final film. Then you blast that into the actors' ears while they're performing. Bada bing, bada boom. You've got a show, baby. And I saved you at least $2 million in overhead. And I didn't even have to reinvent the wheel there. That's just how this works on Earth. What the shit were they doing in rehearsals? I swear to God, if someone says that they were learning the music, then guess what, folks? We weren't watching a professional production. We were watching the world's most expensive rehearsal of the world's most basic musical. Even if they rehearsed the crap out of the show and knew it all like the back of their hand, there's no point in encouraging them to change their performances each take live on set. You can't treat these musical numbers like improv comedy. That's just not how this works. Because here's the thing. I'm gonna be fair. There are parts of this film where it kind of works. There are dance numbers in the Jellicle Ball that look kind of cool in the right lighting. Jason Derulo honestly does a good job. Let's be real here. When it's not getting interrupted, Skimbleshank slaps.
I just realized you could give it a Centipede-Mon visual.
And do you know why? Do you know why, Tom? I'm going to give you a little bit of a clue here, Cooper. If you want to dance, you have to dance to a beat. No one's ever listened to Barrios Sequenza number 3 and thought, oh yeah, Daddy, that's a real toe tapper. No one's ever counted in a group of ballerinas with 1, 2, screw it, in your own time. You spent enough money to fund a quarter of a space shuttle to try and make a movie that captures the majesty of dance, and you made it impossible to keep to a beat in at least half of these numbers. Correct me if I'm wrong here, Tom, but that doesn't really make a lot of sense, does it? That's it. You can't dance well without a beat because nothing in this show is some kind of free dance with no music, not even Victoria's solo. Everyone walks away talking about how this show is about the dancing, and they took out the one thing that makes it possible to dance to this show. Now I know that someone out there is going to reference some avant-garde solo dance routine that's performed to radio static because they took 1 semester of intro to dance before becoming a family studies major like everyone else in the performing arts department, and they just want everybody to know, go ahead, make a TikTok where you dance to Gandalf Gus here and see if you can make it go viral. I dare you. I can't believe I'm saying this, but there's a reason Weber wrote the numbers in the show the way that he did, and there's a reason this show has been as successful as it's been. You could very easily move your body to the original version. Good luck with whatever the hell this is. Despite all the cuts in his track, Rum Tum Tugger's number maintains all that energy because it's one of the few numbers played to a click track. That's why it carries that energy with it. Or Skimbleshanks, it's because you need a click track to keep everyone on that 13/8. You can't do the 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 when someone's making up the tempo. You need to have your performers on a click track if you want a popsicle's chance in this fur-covered hellscape of ever being able to sync that to dancing. If you want a good example of that not happening, check out the Cockroach Dancers. Right here, Stephen McRae is literally tapping his foot to the beat.
Watch you without winking, and I see what you are thinking, and it's certain that I wouldn't approve.
But what that means is that the numbers in this film that worked almost feel like they were done by accident. Think about this. Really think about this. It is a massive tell that the best performances in this show were all sung by dancers. Really let that marinate for a minute. They gave all the power to the performers to do with the numbers what they wanted. And in the hyper-toxic environment of Hollywood, all those dancers took 1 minute to look at each other and have that telepathic mind link where they realized that this ship was sinking, and they said, nah, that's fine. Just play the orchestral mock-up that's set to the click track. It's what I'm used to anyway, LOL. But that's the kind of polish that you need to have if you want a truly spectacular performance. With this film, we just weren't watching a finished performance. They spent tens of millions of dollars digitally enhancing what should have been their rehearsals. I want to come back to this quote that we started with. A good film can survive a bad score, but a good score cannot save a bad film. It goes without question that Hudson would have won at the very least an Oscar nomination if this film hadn't been such a flop. I'd even go so far as to say that she could have even gotten a Grammy nomination under the right circumstances. For all the complaining I'm doing about the orchestra, she did an amazing job. Along with a lot of the people who were on set for hours and hours and hours doing these dance routines and getting these numbers out. On top of the orchestra, who were putting in so much time and effort into this ordeal that they were recording music as late as 2 months before this film's release date. But every time you look up something about this film, it's about how that digital fur technology looked absolutely horrific. Someone might say something about how charming it was to see Taylor Swift, and that's about it. No one brings up all the musical problems in this film, both in terms of the performances and in the music's role in telling the story. It's kind of frightening to think about how the effects were so bad that it actually distracted us from how bad the music was as well in this, musical. Why make a musical without focusing on the music? Thanks for watching. I'd like to thank my patrons for making these videos possible. With an extra special thank you to Alec Kulakowski, Alex Klinkert, Always Posh, Anthony DiDonato, Artemy, hey Artemy, Ariella Jaglam, Captain Casey, Charlie Holly, Christian, Clara Tan, Darren Almgren, Dawn Marie Curran, Edith with the Man Hands, Ella Ryra, Elise and Thomas Constantine, Eyeball Boy, For the Horde, Google it, Gregory Holderness, Hayden Jandro. I don't trust anyone who isn't honest about their addiction to ice cream. I want you to tell me if my fear is justified that no one will pay attention to me if I'm honest about my addiction to ice cream. It was too long before, but Ice Cream Dude is valid. Jason Kim, Jeff Bridges, but you can call me The Dude. Joe Engel, John Egbert, Jordan Adams, Joseph Spiros, Josh Bacte, Julian Dubois, Justin Harley, Karen Rosenau, Keltier, Looney, Major Lardwina, Elizabeth IV, Delanyard, Quengu, Michael Hubbard, Mike Wisnick, Myron John Tatarin, Nicole, Nicholas Coent, Praylock, Progressive App Store, Ra Rasputin, Russia's Greatest Yeet Machine, Rachel Augsburger, Rafael Martinez Salas, Ravenhorn, Rich Marzullo, Rick Osborne, Ryan Vick, Sideway-tastic Mr. Ben, Sky Pilot, Tabitha Ockleford, Take That, Rewind It Back, Sideways, Music Theory, Make Your Brain Cells Go Clap. Thanks for that. I'm sorry, I'm so bad. Tara Fimiera, Transpanic Power Hour, Vox, Wisdom Minari, You Are Loved, You Are Valid, You Deserve to Live, You Are Not the Exception, You Shall Call Me the Pumpkin Queen, and that little symbol that I still don't know how to pronounce. I'm really sorry. Please send me a DM so I know how to say your name. I'd also like to thank everybody who requested this video. I know it's been a long time in the making, and I'd like to thank everyone for requesting that I talk about this nightmare film. And if for whatever reason you like what you saw here, be sure to subscribe and check out my other videos. Follow me on Twitter and Twitch to have your musical questions answered live. And if you really like what I'm doing, then consider supporting the channel on Patreon. But that's all I got for now. Thanks for watching.
Oh yeah. I'll pay more attention to that one later.
Alright, you jokers, get all your jokes out of the way. Hey, Indie Mouse, what are you gonna call this video? Tormented Souls?
A letter for me? I never receive letters.
Calm down, lady. Letters as an adult are never fun. It's like pay your quarterly tax, or it's a bill, or you're being sued by Vardy Video again. Or it's a photo of two girls.
I can't get out of my head the image of those little girls. I can't sleep. And when I am able to fall asleep, it's only to dream horrible nightmares. I need to know what's going on. What's the meaning of all of this? I'm going to the Wildberger Hospital in hopes of finding some answers about this strange photo. I need to know what's going on.
So upon entering the Hamburger Hospital, a suspicious figure knocks us over the back of the head with a metal pipe before we even get to play. We wake up naked in a bath, which, I mean, we are just straight up naked. I cannot show this on YouTube. And we also have this long pipe going down our throat. So once we pull that out, put some clothes on, we also notice that apparently someone has taken out our eyeball. And that was one heck of an intro to a video game. Consider me hooked from this point onwards. Of course, this is William Wildberger's diary. Just an absolute banger of a name. The most made up name. Bless me, 2 beautiful angels. Okay, so those 2 girls were born in this horrific place. Look at the little tank control picture. So Tormented Souls was released this year, and unlike other survival horror games that kind of aping those old PlayStation era games, it didn't go for that gimmick of having PlayStation 1 era graphics, which I'm digging. This game looks fantastic. Oh, and a great looking inventory too. Look at that, little heartbeat for our health. Perfect. There's just something about an in-universe map that you look at. Yeah, it just, you know, it really tickles your nuggets. I'm sure this will make sense later, but what the hell am I looking at here? Humans come from Earth. Aliens. Egyptian. B. Yeah. What in tarnation was that? I ain't going the way it went.
Yep, scary dolls are a pretty popular horror trope.
Okay. Not much better this way. How did you get behind me? What, you find a hiding spot? Fit your wheelchair in there? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Help! Okay, he's evil.
What the hell is going on here?
My child, you are pale. What happened to you?
A person in a wheelchair with knives in his hands was chasing me.
It's dangerous to walk around the mansion unarmed.
Thank you, Father, but what are you going to do without a weapon?
My child, with a Bible in my hand, God protects me.
Ho 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 ho! Baby! Who wants some, huh? Who? Oh God, I'm sorry, Father. Oh, I think the devil took over me there for a second. Bear with me. Alright, we'll see how old school this is with the puzzles, because let's be honest, as much as I love Resident Evil 7 and Village, you know, Village is probably one of my favorite games of this year. The puzzles in that game were an absolute joke. They were like baby levels.
I know they have like cartoons and
we'll
stuff,
see how
which I was gonna watch later because Saber Spark made a couple funny videos about that. I just assumed they're funny because they're him, but you know.
Okay, bear with me
I'll
here,
watch them later because I know you get
Played
real
a lot
heated
of
about
stuff
that
in
stuff.
Shocktober in a row, and they all have different control schemes. Alright, we're good. It's like jumping, you know, you're playing Dark Souls, and then you jump into Witcher 3, and you're like, man, what do any of these controls do?
Which, like, is totally valid because NFTs are for stupid idiots.
The fixed cameras with the actual 3D environments, it's beautiful. It works so well. This is great. So you can probably guess this, but this game doesn't have autosaves at all. So if I die, I will literally have to start the whole game again because I haven't saved. I need to find a bloody, I don't know, a typewriter or something. Oh, bloody hell. Yes, I'm nearly dead, but the drugs in this cabinet are very neatly arranged. Half a heart, okay, sure, good. I am in pain. These little enemies are rough, dude. I'm in rough shape. We've made some brutal mistakes. No healing left, and we have to get through 2 enemies to get to the save room. Pretty psyched about this situation. This room is awful. These guys are the worst. They're so... I wish I had a real gun. Let me pass!
Man, I'm dead.
That was a bug or something. I didn't die. We're back to where we were because I managed to get past those two enemies and save. We've got like these candles. I don't know why, but... Oh! Okay. Are we going in there, huh? Alright, in we go, baby.
I think maybe you evolve this Pokemon.
Wait, how do we keep ending up here?
By
I
having
can't play Persona 4
5 centipedes. Five, like,
Okay, so it looks like the mirror has taken us to Silent Hill, which is a dark version of the real world, which is already pretty fucking dark. For some reason, this doesn't
they're
fit
centipedals,
in
I
the
can't remember.
human. That's tiny.
You know, the centipede
How
Pokemon.
can that not fit in the human in the real world, but it fits in this
You have to have
baby?
5 of those, and
Oh
some
God, just
some
get me out of
Pokemon
here.
with hooves.
I don't know what the... Look, I haven't had much experience with rigor mortis, believe
And then
it
you
or
have to
not.
go to a section of the map that's like a
Can't grab this
nuclear
handle out of this
nuclear
corpse's hand.
power.
Is that realistic?
Waste
Someone
disposal
dies holding
facility
something, you
or
reckon
something.
you can you reckon that would just be stuck in
Or
their
waste
hand
disposal
until
site.
you put a heart in the baby?
And
Let me know if
this
you're a
will
medical
happen
expert.
to all of your Pokemon.
We're going in, baby. Surely. And now I'd like to present you with just some of the puzzles that I ran into in the next 30 minutes without having any items to solve them with. Oh no, they've bloody gone and smashed Jesus. He's fallen off the cross, hasn't he? Let me guess, we're going to need to get some super glue. Put that on the puzzle list. We'll glue him back together. We'll put him back up. It'll be Holy
You have
shit,
to
the
bless
save
the
room
super glue
music.
first.
Oh my god, that's
You have to
so
crush
good.
up one of those weird plasticky tasting communion wafers
Oh, it's gotta be. That means there's a
and
shotgun
bless
somewhere.
some super
Shouldn't have
glue.
come here? Yeah. No kidding. What the heck? Look at this save system. How good is this? Oh. You won't leave this place? Shouldn't have come here. You won't leave this place. I get it, man. Is that a charred corpse in an oven? Alright, maybe the signs are right. What is this? Hello? Oh, okay.
Hello, Germ.
Alright, I'll go the other way. You hear that? There's something lurking down in the darkness.
Yeah, that sounds
I really
pretty
like how
dumb.
you can light the candles. That takes me back to Amnesia. I haven't played that since it launched. That game scared the shit out of me though. Good God. I never want to play that game ever again. Hello, ma'am. Can I interest you in some poison? Doesn't fit. How is this hand yours? It doesn't actually fit. I don't know what this is. Man, this is like an adventure game. Oh, thank God. Thought I was gonna walk past those armors and they were gonna slice me. And if I died, I haven't saved for a while, guess what? Shocktober would be cancelled once again. Oh, come on, look at this. Of course. Let me in. Only those who know the beating heart of John. Oh, heartbeat? I got you. This is why there was that X-ray with the heart showing. Okay, that's an irregular beat. We're gonna have to take you to the hospital.
That's an arrhythmia.
Awful torture machines. They don't appear to have been used in a long time. Because we have modern torture machines now, you know? We don't need these ancient things. We just make people watch TikTok videos.
These girls are the same twins as those in the photo.
I'm just gonna throw this out there. Maybe I can remove it if I'm wrong, but I think I'm one of the twins. I think that might be the most obvious thing in the whole game if I'm right, but I don't have a battery. Oh my god! The swords do attack! Now that's a plot twist. Alright, can we get a nail counter here, please? So we can all witness how many nails it takes to get one of these fuckers down!
Ah, we meet again.
Father, what are you doing here?
Don't you see, child? I'm eating some soup. Oh my.
I don't
What is
trust that guy
this
one bit.
doing in my soup?
He's the final boss,
Rid of this thing, would
probably.
There was a rusty bolt in your soup? Yeah, put the bolt in there, that's a... Didn't work? Surely, look at... Yeah, that's what I thought. Otherwise I was gonna put my finger in there. Alright, let's be honest now. We're in the safe room, we can be honest. This is more than just a tribute game. This is aping Resident Evil and Silent Hill pretty hard, but they nailed it. The music, the atmosphere, the jank, it's all here.
I don't know if this even looks
Every
like a
note
Pokemon,
is
but
a clue to the puzzles.
I tried.
I don't know what that has to do with it. I just want to say you did a good job. If the devs ever see this video, good job.
Okay,
Okay, if you end up playing this yourself and you need a tip, in the dark you cannot do anything. You cannot blindly shoot, you cannot use items, you are useless. Alright, you reckon we can kill this bastard with the night sword? Just gotta keep him here. We got him! Oh my god, we got an achievement as well. What is that sound? Is that the game's Mr. X? Hey, father! What the hell are you doing in there?
What if I just like radiate upward?
Jesus Christ, if that thing starts chasing me.
What's going on here? Why is that weird man walking around the operating table with that weird chandelier in his hands?
What are you talking about, child?
A chandelier?
Oh, okay, not the strongest shotgun, but I'll take it. So this part was insane. This is where the puzzles really started to up the ante a little bit. It took me a long time, this part. That's why there's no talking in it. You remember that guy walking around the table with the chandelier? Well, you have to mimic his movement and walk around this corpse in a completely different room with your lighter out. And I think you need to turn the lights off as well. So you need to walk around this guy's dead body with your lighter out to bring him back to life. I tried running around him in general. It didn't work. I pulled out the lighter, started running around him, but apparently I was going in the wrong direction. Eventually, though, I did start walking around him, and I mean, you could.
It's obviously a firebug type.
That's feedback. That's a response. It's working. God damn, how long have I been here? I don't even want to know. I even stopped recording at some point. Alright, you fucking bastard, I'm gonna put you down! Ever heard of a shotgun? That's how that shit's done. Maybe we can burn the handle with this. Nope, the fridge just opens. I did not realize. Oh shit, it's freezing cold. Put this in here. Oh, I hate that. Why is that combat? What did it say? Okay, candles spotted. Ah! Okay, motherfucker. Candles are lit. Die! I pulled out the shotgun for you. That's for freaking me out and then hitting me, bitch.
Posture, hydration,
Not a
save
fan
your
of how
progress
real
check,
life
everybody.
created morgues, just for video games to put in really creepy areas. So thanks for that. Again, real life really fucking us over. Oh, the bodies are going in. I don't want to be here anymore. Don't open that. That's a great. Killer achievement. How does Steam know? Ah, yes, the infamous Button Skeleton himself. Oh, I'm I apologize. No, I don't. That was the correct answer, apparently. Surely just jimmy this open with a knife. Doesn't fit. My ass, it doesn't fit. Old rusty lock, okay. What's in there? Ah, it's just a child skeleton, of course. We've all got one of those. God, I hope this tape isn't them recording me when I was naked with a pipe shoved down my throat. I'll have to destroy that tape. It's not... Did someone record an image? Seems like a waste of a videotape. Oh, it's like Mario 64. Yeah, you're telling me, skeleton. That's how I feel. Frig you and your puzzle. Friggin' skeleton. Hello. I remember who you are. You're the... In the future, you're the skeleton laying in there. I mean, technically, we're all skeletons in the future, but... Are we gonna say anything, or are we just gonna stare?
My grandfather and those men in suits locked me down in this cell. Please, miss. You have to help me get out of here.
I got you, homie. Your voice is very weird, but we can finally use this acid. Take days?
What have you done to the lock, miss?
I poured some acid on it. The metal will eventually dissolve, but it will take some time.
I live here in the hospital with my parents and my sister.
Have we met before?
Your face seems familiar, but
oh, she's our sister.
Seen each other
of course. So theoretically, we changed the past in the videotape, so the little girl should be free. She's gone. We've done it. So from that little girl's cell, we received the what I'm going to call the master key. It's just a weird-ass key that's going to open up all those bizarre locks that we've stumbled upon throughout our journey. You know, the one with the Tetris post-it note and the alien and the bee. I just go through and open a bunch of them without any commentary, so I do that. The B one, though, here's the B one. Okay, so the humans are from Earth. you gotta figure out which shape corresponds with the alien. So I think this is the best example for how this key is used, okay? So the first shape is a star because aliens are from space. The second one is a triangle because Egyptian with the pyramids. And the third one is we're just gonna call it the hive because it's a beehive. So that's... Every door has like a little puzzle like that using these same shapes. Okay, so 5 sides, 3 sides, 8 sides. What do you mean it won't turn? It's not an 8. It's an infinite. It's around the wrong way. Ah.
He's lost an arm. I must find a way to help him.
So how are you going to fix this old man's arm, House? It's literally fallen off. It didn't fall off. It was physically removed. Okay, how do you physically attach an arm then? I'm going to resort to something wacky. Wait, have you ever heard of the Dark World? I'm not here for your fairy tales, Wilson. I'm here for science. No, hear me out. You can walk through mirrors, and then maybe you can fix his arm using his mannequin in the Dark World. I mean, it's worth a shot, right? What do you got to lose at this point? Just go ahead and light the candles in the mirror in the bathroom, and staple his arm back on and see what happens. Staple the mannequin's arm back in the bathroom mirror. Fix his arm in the real world. He doesn't have lupus, he has manicurism arm syndrome. That's why he lost his arm in the real world. Yeah, that's exactly what I just told you. We're all mannequins and babies in the dark world, Wilson. All fragile porcelain figurines waiting to be broken, which affects our well-being in the real world. This man obviously lost his arm in there, and that's why it's affecting his health on planet Earth. So you want to catch the game later? You're back on Vicodin, aren't you, House? I never quit, baby. There you go, brother. Oh. Man, if I had super glue, I could fix so many of these puzzles. Oh, me monkey. Me didn't do it. Me not guilty. Me didn't steal the canister in my mouth. It's kind of ironic that this puzzle's about monkeys, because right now I'm feeling like I'm a monkey on the PC trying to figure it out. Look, I got the hammer, I know that bit, but that's the gavel. And I know the last one's headless, because he loses his head in the poem. Guilty. Oh. Yeah. Wait, hold up, is it just see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil? And the poem is a red herring. Oh my god! Just one ice cold Beppis Max, please. Hang on, I have to play Simon Says to get me a drink out of this damn vending machine. This place is a nightmare. That is a blood bag. That is not a Beppis Max. That is the Harry Mason flashlight. I remember that. They invented that in Silent Hill. So we don't need to use the lighter anymore. That is a game changer. Where are all those dark rooms that I need to shoot in? You just gotta pull it open, lady. That's how you open a washing machine. Let's give it a little crowbar. Let's hit it open with the hammer, maybe. Just.
Yay.
Cursed ass washing machine. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to open it. Bastard! Alright, boys, let's see what's on this floppy disk. Hopefully something good. Oh.
There's my attempt at a centipede demon.
That's got to be the best case scenario,
Pokemon.
right?
Did that? Why are you doing this?
So let me tell you about this floppy disk puzzle. We've got a bunch of names on the front with numbers next to them. We need to find out the password to this computer. And boy howdy did they go deep on this one. So on the back of the disk, behind this little metallic slider.
Wait, did I forget to close that earlier? Oh, okay, no, that's closed. It's like a really bad lag again.
It says
Damn it.
3 plus 6 minus 9. So if you take the names, Lamar plus Tisha, you get Lamar Tisha, and then take Lewis. I bet you're wondering, how the hell do you take Lewis from that? Well, you got to remove all the L's, the O's, the I's, and the S's, and that's how you get the password of Martha. So...
I do kind of like how that was turning out.
So from here in Tormented Souls, I did stumble around quite a bit. There wasn't a lot of commentary going on. I had to go to the past through another videotape. I had to put the blood bag that I got out of the vending machine into that freezer that we found quite a while ago. And I also had to put a battery that I found on charge in the past. So I could come back to the present and we'd have ourselves a blood popsicle as well as a charged battery. Two more puzzle elements.
I guess
And
you
now I gotta
can
figure out
go
where to
to
put those.
space if you're a skeleton.
I remember at the start of the game, I'm like, hey, let's see what puzzles this game
Won't have to worry about not
All the
breathing.
shit I have in my inventory. Really biting that one. Oh no, they brought it. Click this. That's not. That's actually. That's just a light. Oh my god! Why is his eyeball still moving around like that?
I'm gonna turn off my mic for a minute
What
while I
is
have a little snacko.
You ain't going back in there. Never going back in there. Alright, I don't know what you are, to be honest. I am leaving. This is a dead end! Ah! Okay, never mind. Photo of Metallic Door. Have I been there before? I mean, probably, but you think I remember where that was? I have no idea. Ah, shit. Something could fit in this slot. What about this thing? What about... That doesn't make sense, does it? Dude, this soundtrack? Oh, stellar. Why the scary music? Oh my fucking god, that disgusting floating bloat. Why are you in here? How did you escape that other room, you disgusting slob? Oh, that is not pleasant to look at. Get me out of here. We got this new weapon, the electric lance. Let's give it a shot. I don't want to have too good to use syndrome. Oh my god, you camping bastard! What the hell? You can't wait for me outside of loading screen? Okay, so that seems pretty good. Put this on the door, maybe? No? Need to force it somehow. Put... Oh, the gears! Okay, okay. Oh. Do it to both. Let's open. Fucker. You fucker door. Rusty bastard. Something else on this door that I'm missing? Hammer it? Hammer it, of course! Now, I don't know if you guys remember that puzzle from the start of the game. We had nothing for it. Now we got everything. Baby, look at my inventory. Slam the ID card in. Put this ice in that I've had in my inventory for hours and it hasn't melted. That's a good freezer, dude. And then... Oh no, I'm gonna have to do this. Okay, we did it! We in, boys! Obsession! Man, a lot of red flags on this way. A lot of, you should have not entered here. Okay, you know what? For that reason, I'm out. Oh no, it's an infinite corridor room! Oh, it's like that desert in Final Fantasy VII. I am fucked. Get me out of there. It sucks out there.
Ain't much better in here, kid.
Ah! What the hell? What did I get into the corridor?
What? Is this my room? But this is hundreds of miles away from the mansion. How can this be possible?
What do they got playing on the tube these days? Nothing? Come on, you... Give me something good.
We're going to be looking at the other threats in the game, the bosses. So along with some of the most terrifying enemies I've seen in video games...
Never need to see that again. Shit's broken. Oh. Oh. Thank you for that. That's the gold medal for shitting myself. Perfect. What a timing. All right, so busting open that TV in our bedroom, open the safe in this room, okay? In the real world. Moon medal, surely that goes with my my gold medal there. Perfect. Oh, fucking come on. Oh, get off me. I'm just going to throw this out there. Maybe I can remove it if I'm wrong, but I think I'm one of the twins. I think that might be the most obvious thing in the whole game, if I'm right.
Oh, my head. Oh.
Oh no. I used to have one of those little ballerina music box dolls.
What is this?
Or, you know, doll music boxes.
Song. I know it. It's the song my sister and I used to listen to when we were children.
Are we back in the past again? Where we... this is where we started, in that, in the bathroom. Maybe we can take a sneaky look at the lottery winning numbers. Oh, that's in the past. Hey, that doesn't help. Oh, shit. That's me.
What?
We're the ones that removed our eyeball? Okay, that's a twist I did not see coming.
Oh.
Ah, don't show that. I mean, that's a pretty clean car. I don't know if she's done this before or... Okay, so I'm going to be honest with you guys here. This one had me a little bit stumped. I had to look up a hint for this one. So down in the sewers, there's 2 retina scanners that we need to be using. We have to... with our gouged eye that we got from ourselves in the past, which it affected why we have no eye now, we have to hang that on a fish hook in front of one of the retina scanners and then use our still intact eye on the other retina scanner, and that's how we get into this sewer vault. These puzzles are getting baffling.
Grandfather Noah?
Is that just the way with horror games?
I remember you.
Oh God, you have your memories back. Then you remember that your stupid mother stopped me from sacrificing you and your sister.
For a horror game.
The radiation that comes from the sacred placenta is extremely harmful to us, impure and worthless beings.
Hey, wait! Where do you think you're going?
What is this? something can be placed here. I don't know what's thinking on that one. Let's do the old use everything.
Concept, a horror game?
Nah.
Where you play
Key
someone
doesn't
who
even
has
make
been
sense.
trapped in a house
Padlock?
in sort of like a Saw-style
Holy shit,
situation.
the padlock from the start of the game actually works here.
Except instead of creating some sort of
Okay,
social
I don't know what that
commentary,
even is, but hell, we're going in.
the villain just really
Oh
wanted
my
to make
God.
a horror game,
Look at this ladder!
but didn't want to learn how to code or use game-making software.
Hey!
So he just
That's
trapped
not
a real
how Iron
person in a
Maidens
house
work. Iron Maidens
with a bunch
just
of
sue
crazy
people whenever they
puzzles and
want to.
monsters.
You guys see the new Mob Psycho 3 trailer? Shit,
What?
dude. What is that? What is that?
It's like not even
I
necessarily
know what that
monsters,
was. I
it's
mean,
just
what
like
are these sounds? Mr. X? No.
various
Just
things
a hammer
this
boy.
person found around.
Get shocked, bitch. See you in hell. I would kill for a safe room right now. Oh, hello, sir. Give me 1 second. I don't know if you can kill him, but I'm not risking it, okay? We're just getting past him. He was guarding the safe room!
I'm Emma. I remember everything. I fell into the river from the bridge all these years ago. Noah is keeping my sister Anna in the underground bunker. He is the one who has engineered all of this. He has had my sister in captivity all this time. I won't let this...
Look, I'm gonna be real with you guys. This puzzle looks like a nightmare. I went and got this canister, but I don't think that's gonna be the worst of it. Look at this fucking wall. What in God's name is that? We will never speak of this to anyone, ever again.
In his endless grace, he will make me the new pope, the supreme pontiff. Every conceited prick in the Vatican will rot in this stinging town. He will be born again to purify the earth of these unholy souls. Only the true heirs of the kingdom of God will prevail and create a new world.
You are insane.
Sounds like it. They're running away slowly. Oh, absolutely.
In reality, they didn't really stand a chance, did they?
You have to get
I don't have
keys
to go
to
look at
unlock
this
things
thing.
with keys to
Look at
unlock
this.
things with
It's
other
just-
keys.
Just awful. Just so it's just absolutely. Hit it with the hammer. Put it out of its misery. Hit it with the 5G shot here. Oh, that works. Okay, let's go.
It's pretty much all most like horror game puzzles are, is finding out a specific
see you in
key or
3
code.
weeks. Oh, this is just unpleasant.
Somewhere in the mix, there's like a combination
That was my
block.
sister? Okay, game, you got me on that. Ooh, bolt cutters. What are we doing here, Father? What's the game plan? Why is there blood hovering on those bowls? Is that the work of the devil too? This is just all devil shit. How can you praise God and then do this? Man, this reminds me of Friday Night Cult Nights. He has summoned
They
something,
didn't say
but
which god,
luckily
did he?
for us, he has summoned it under a big giant drill. Alright, you fucking bastard. Let's do this. Why did they give me bolt cutters? Oh shit, they've blocked off most of the ways. Bolt cutters. Ah! In the past. In the past. We can save the little girl. We don't have to wait days if we got bolt cutters.
You cut the chain! I told you I would get you out of here. Now we need to escape to a safer time.
That's not what the subtitles said, but I'll let it slide. What the fuck? Man? Now, I'm not the biggest fan of the sun overall, but a little bit of daylight spruces this place up, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yes. The subtitle said okay, that was one word. You got that one wrong? It's been fine throughout the whole game, but I guess the ending, they
So as the,
you know, the
player
QA
of the
team
game about the
couldn't get
guy
past
who
those
wanted to make a
puzzles, so they're
game
like,
but
"Yeah,
couldn't, so he just
it's
put a
fine,
person
just
in a
send it
house.
out."
Anna,
Which
I'm
is
aware
meta
that my
because it's in a
actions
video
were
game.
wrong.
You as the
Once you find
protagonist
out
get to
the truth,
constantly
I
complain
hope
about
you
how
can
bad
forgive me.
puzzles are.
What a great game. What a great survival horror game. Tormented Souls. Shocktober ends next week.
Like, you have an option to, you have an option to, like, to occasionally say things. Be like, what did you think of my puzzle? And be like, the puzzle is fucking garbage, dude. A baby could do that. Or it could be like, oh wow, that was, really intimidating. And if you just make fun of them the whole time, he eventually gets better at puzzles. Well, either way, it gets better at puzzles, but for different reasons. The puzzles actually become challenging.
有人让我反省自己可我日三省吾身发现错不在我有人说我大魔王可我不过爱沉吟2秒的新人精用喷子越发的避嫌苦在禁止老子禁锢耶在他的地府空乏其身幸福乱世所谓然后别自失吧最后再去治别的怨
哎老板这个煮鸡蛋怎么卖啊煮鸡蛋呀1块5一个3块钱2个10块钱6个找你1块钱那麻烦您给我拿3个。小本经营，概不赊钱。
在下线时陪听君一席话，浪费了我宝贵的10分钟。彼此讨厌前边的人很多，保持距离这个决定还不错。如果你问我多远才足够？那么我会回答，最好是阴阳相隔。我这一辈子谁也没求过。
So wait, there would be another option where you can give the guy constructive criticism and actually try to help him make his puzzles better. Which will be hard for the player, and potentially deadly. But it could be a very interesting option. That's a cool ass OP.
This video is brought to you by Keeps. To many people, animation is a joke. They see it not as an artistic medium, but simply as a genre, and one that is looked down upon for lacking maturity. It's for kids. Adults don't really watch this stuff, right? Yet adult animation is a thing, and features some of the most iconic and beloved characters of all time. The Simpsons, South Park, and King of the Hill, to name a few. Unfortunately, these shows seem to be an exception, because for every single successful adult cartoon out there, you will find 10 failures that completely sucked. You know what I'm talking about. The shows that were developed by a soulless corporate boardroom, where they watched 5 minutes of a successful property and thought that they too could do the same. And on a budget, no less. Social and political satire. Visually simple and reliant on edgy characters and writing. And of course, for good measure, a sitcom. Boom. We got ourselves an adult animated show trademarked. It's like a cookie cutter printing press that just perpetuates this uninspired stereotype. And folks, I recently bore witness to one of the most catastrophic offenders of this devious act. A cartoon that is so terrible, so excruciating, So painful to watch that I had to pause the show just to allow my brain a chance to protect the remaining brain cells that I have left. Yes, folks, all 2 of them. I present to you all Comedy Central's newest cartoon, Fairview.
We're not dumbasses, Beef. We're different.
What do you mean?
We're total fucking idiot assholes.
I don't think I've ever recoiled while watching a cartoon before. Like, I physically pulled myself away from the screen and threw my headphones across the room. Okay, that might be an exaggeration. It was like 2 feet or so, but the point remains. Fairview genuinely has the worst audio mixing I've ever heard from a network show in my life. The levels are messed up. There's constant clipping because the voice actors were shouting. And I don't think that any of these people know what a pop filter is.
The only thing this party is missing is football.
Don't take it personally.
You like pooping, dumping.
I guess so.
It's just Peter, peep, throughout the entire show. It is such a mess. And that is just the audio. The animation? Oh, ooh, it's bad. It's like they wanted to design characters that look like they're from Archer, but then they gave up from the neck down and decided that channeling the energy of Weebles would be enough. Spoiler alert, it wasn't. But the most insulting element about this show to me are the characters and the writing that accompanies them. None of them have any substance to them at all. It's just a constant barrage of screaming and characters mentioning topical events without having any true commentary about said events. Hey guys, COVID, am I right? That's a thing we're all experiencing and frustrated with. Oh my God, wow. Such bold and compelling storytelling. Do go on. Don't go on. Ultimately, and to bring this back to my point about adult animation, Fairview is a cartoon that is an ideal example of how so many entertainment industry people just do not care about adult animation. As long as the show is loud and obnoxious and you have the right name on it, then that is good enough apparently. Oh, Stephen Colbert? Oh no, dude, you're better than this, I think. You were on Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law. You were great as Phil on there. What are you doing on that? You're not even in this show. You're producing it? Oh, Steven, talk about a fall from grace.
Mind laying down so I can take a poop on you?
Ha ha!
Before I begin, I need to address the elephant in the room. When it comes to criticizing content, it helps to watch said content. So
you could do the thing like how you're using the 2D pixel game style.
One can have an informed opinion
to make a sort of a layout for the game you're aspiring to make later in 3D. But you can make comics of the animations you want to come up with. Because comics are basically animations, but with, less frames. And they don't have talking and sounds. You have to imagine the sounds, but that's even better because you give all the work to the readers. They can imagine the sounds.
As of the time of recording this video, only one episode of Fairview has been released. That being said, I've already seen enough. There's actually an episode being released the evening of me recording this video, and I will check it out. Maybe there's some redemption arc here, but I highly doubt it. And if you do think I'm being hasty, go watch it yourself. Watch it. Just 5 minutes, and you will completely understand where I'm coming from. Okay, let's continue. Fairview is the result of a new adult animated push from Viacom CBS in an effort to make content to fuel the flames of the streaming wars. Now, they're a bit late to the streaming competition, so they're currently scrambling to evaluate the content and properties that they own and how to reboot said content as incentives for their streaming platform, i.e. the Butthead revival or the Daria spinoff, because apparently people asked for that. But there seems to be a particular interest from Viacom CBS on the adult animation front. According to this article from Deadline, and by the way, this quote comes from Nina Diaz, an executive from Viacom who has like 7 different titles and positions apparently. She says, quote, "As we continue to double down on adult animation, we couldn't be more thrilled to bring Fairview and Washingtonia to Comedy Central in partnership with Steven and our friends at CBS Studios. These two irreverent satires fit squarely into the Comedy Central brand. Hilarious, sophisticated, and of course, with politics at the center of it all. End quote. By the way, Viacom owns a bunch of subsidiary companies like Comedy Central, MTV, and Nickelodeon, to name a few. But to go back to that quote, what? Okay, so we have a few things we have to unpack here. First off, sophisticated? Really? I guess Nina here is the kind of person who thinks that Panera Bread is fine dining. You know, wait till she discovers Longhorns, it'll blow her mind. But my true fascination comes from this notion that all an adult animated show really needs in order to be aired is, 1, channel the energy of an already proven formula, i.e. South Park, and 2, have the right people attached to it. Now, I know that this isn't an absolute. And I also want to acknowledge that things have been improving in some regards for adult animation. And I will talk about that later on in the video. But this cookie-cutter formula still continues for adult animation. And it's because many network executives don't respect the medium of animation, nor do they think very highly of their audience. Fairview is a perfect example of that problem. I genuinely don't know if the executives at Viacom think that Fairview is just like South Park in merit, because it's absolutely not. In my opinion, it's much more likely that they don't understand why something like South Park has endured for so many years, and instead chalk it up to the irreverent social commentary with cheap animation. That has to be it, right? I mean, it hit all the checkboxes. It couldn't possibly be the characters or the genuine writing that goes into the show. I'll smack you, you stupid executive. And the audacity to air Fairview in proximity with a new season of South Park. I mean, I get it from a marketing point of view, but it is insulting. Comedy Central is like, oh man, if you like South Park, you'll definitely like this. No, I don't. And thank God that many others feel the same way that I do. I actually went through Twitter, reading through the replies for this promotion of Fairview on my newsfeed, and so many other people are in agreement with me. Thank God. By the way, fun fact, and I forgot to mention this in the script, Trevor Noah, the guy from Daily Show, and I wish I screen capped this, I replied to the Fairview tweet where I'm like, this looks terrible. And I guess he must have clicked on the tweet chain with the replies, and he accidentally favorited my tweet. I don't know why that's funny to me. It's like he misclicked my tweet. I should have screen capped it, damn it. That would have been a fine moment. Okay, whatever. Apologies for the tangents in general, folks. I'm all over the place, and the topic of adult animation is very near and dear to me. All right, let's get back to the origin of the show. So Fairview was created by R.J. Fried, who is also a producer, writer, and voice actor for the show. As I mentioned before, Stephen Colbert is a producer, I guess, some kind of creative consultant for Fairview. And Fried here has worked with Colbert before on other cartoons such as Stephen Colbert Presents Tuning Out the News and Our Cartoon President. Needless to say, Fried has hitched his wagon to Colbert's successful career and all the political satire that comes along with it. Now, I understand that there is a market for this kind of stuff, but it's not for me. I'm just so numb to political cartoons in general, as the majority of them aren't really even saying anything. They just acknowledge stuff in like the most annoying way possible. Like, I watched 5 minutes of this other new cartoon from Colbert called like Washingtonia, and it has to do with this like demon goat who works behind the scenes in DC and how he's trying to stop Joe Biden's liberal agenda. What? I can't take it. I literally can't take it. It is just garbage in its purest form. You know, actually, if you want to watch a show that dunks on the political system, but in a way that's actually kind of fun, go watch Inside Job. It jokes about the political parties of America, all the conspiracies across the world, but in a way where the characters are fun, engaging, good jokes. I recommend it. It's much better than this stuff. So yeah, Fairview is just another addition to the pile of trash that is manufactured by studios who don't respect adult animation. Now, I have to catch myself and try to see this from the point of view of the people who made it. We live in a day and age now where my stupid videos might actually be watched by folks who make the respective movies and shows I comment on. And I have to ask myself, what was their objective? Did RJ Fried have some burning desire to tell this story? Am I missing something here? Or was Fairview just for the sake of satisfying a quota from Viacom and encouraging stockholders that efforts are being made to continue the profitability of Viacom and all of its subsidiaries? I don't know, but regardless of the motives, the results are all the same. It's a very bad show, and I'm going to bring you down into the depths of hell to tell you why.
Lovely.
So what is Fairview about? Hold on, let me read this official synopsis from this article. The hyper-topical Fairview looks at how national politics causes wild small-town drama and the natty light chugging, grocery store parking lot fighting, public urinating town of Fairview through the lens of its sloppy party girl turned pragmatic mayor, Kelly Sampson. Oh my God, this premise. I'll comment more about it in a moment, all right? Hold on. So like I said earlier, only one episode of this show has been released at the time of writing and recording this video. But I've watched said episode 3 times. It's called COVID Party. Wow, how original. I'm gonna have to read the official synopsis from Comedy Central because, like, despite watching this episode 3 times, my brain suffered memory loss. Mayor Kelly fights through the bummer of a major COVID-19 surge by hosting the ultimate football watch party. And Beef gets into hot water when his mom catches him messing with vaccines. Okay, so off the bat, none of these characters are endearing whatsoever, to the point where I couldn't even remember anyone's name. Not even a joke. It doesn't help that they all look so similar too. There's the mayor, a people pleaser who wishes for her old party days. There's the family, a screaming mom, screaming dad, and son who is distinguished by his son status because he wears a video game headset for gaming, because young boys play video games. There's this Amazon factory owner who talks like an Alexa, some assistant at the mayor's office who's a guy, another assistant at the mayor's office who's a girl, this old couple who's obsessed with Dr. Fauci, and then a guy who runs a funeral home and is obsessed too, but in his own separate way of pooping around town. God, give me the strength. So yeah, the episode is about Mayor Kelly allowing parties and this one guy who gets sick throughout the entire episode and is in denial about it and just wants to continue to throw more parties. And then this son character called Beef who is getting yelled at by his backwards mom and that his friend is vaccinated and that he shouldn't hang out with him, you know, more or less. The entire story, the dialogue, all of it feels like it was generated by an algorithm. Like, I know that was the plot from Space Jam 2, but I'm actually starting to question if this is a thing. Does it exist? It probably does. Fairview is just 22 minutes of literal screaming from unlikable characters with terrible microphones as they spew out social commentary in the most unimaginative way possible. It's like a megaphone shouting COVID, cancel party, politics over and over again. I looked into it, and there was an interview that said that the show was recorded via a Zoom call. By their own admission, they say this. I was like, no, there's no way that they use that audio. Please, right? Right? Please tell me that they had separate mics recording via a program so they can mix it all together and balance it, and that they have microphones that are consistent with a standard, and that there's a pop filter. There's none of it. There are people recording it with like a headset. I guess just like the sun, right? It is insanely unprofessional. I get it. All right, COVID's a thing. It's hard to get in person and record these things, but I'm pretty sure your multi-billion-dollar network can afford some microphones to sing your way with acoustic foam and a pop filter. There are YouTube channels with better quality assurance than Comedy Central. Think about that. Outside of the characters and writing, the visuals leave a lot to be desired. I don't like the detailed faces on the simple bodies. That doesn't work for me. And Lord knows that the writing for the show can't carry the rest. The shapes remind me of the nudes from Cartoon Network back in the day, or of the character designs from Lucy, the daughter of the devil. Here's the cool thing about animation, all right? It's that simple designs can work as long as the concept is strong. Aqua Teen,
consistently
C-Lab 2021, Home Movies, South Park. These are good examples, but all of these examples have strong writing and are actually funny, while Fairview isn't. Also, I saw multiple animation errors clipping through the car, and then this one mask that was like from a stock image. They actually masked out a mask. What? All right, so let's go back to the premise of Fairview, because I have a thought or two about that. The entire "look how stupid this town is, lol," like that approach comes across as mean-spirited to me, which is like, I know, intentional, and that a lot of shows do that, but in order to accomplish that, you need to be working with some other kind of material to hold up the rest of the show. Whether it be something like Sunny, Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Those characters are awful. They're so mean-spirited and terrible people, but to the degree where it's absurd, and that works. It's funny. You wanna know why? Because the characters are likable. Not in Fairview. It's even hard to distinguish them. Like, the entire premise of Fairview reeks of a superiority complex to me, that the writers are punching down with zero substance. South Park can make this work because it's so absurd, but also has compelling characters and writing to keep people invested. The creators of South Park are also from Colorado, so they know a thing or two about the place. But for Fairview, it feels more disconnected and spiteful, or at least in my own opinion. That's the take I get from it. I can't find anything redeeming or fun or interesting about any of these characters. Now, I believe in artistic freedom, and nothing should be completely off limits. But that also means that the more daring a topic could be, the more nuance is required to make it work. King of the Hill works because the characters are grounded and are a genuine reflection of the culture of Texas. Since they're established, you can work with that foundation. And that's why Hank being brought out of his comfort zone is so entertaining. Yet we, as an audience, know his defined character and how he has the ability to grow and overcome his bias. God, I love King of the Hill. Such a good show. Fairview is the uncomfortable antithesis of that. It's hostile, it's loud, and it looks cheap. Because it is. Just superficial garbage that will most likely be a tax write-off for Viacom, and yet another reminder about the stigma people carry for adult animation. In conclusion, Fairview should be seen for what it is, the side of the adult animation spectrum that holds no value, no character, no substance, no conviction. It is a product, a bad one at that. Even if you're a person who enjoys this kind of content, which is totally fine, you cannot deny that this production was done poorly and with very little care. Aqua Teen can get away with looking shoddy because that was deliberate and is part of the charm of the show. It amplifies the crass behavior and interactions of the characters, and how Master Shake is a lovable bastard. What y'all do in my freaking car? But I encourage you all to take heart. As I said earlier, adult animation is improving. Arcane, Primal, Inside Job, Smiling Friends. I think the streaming wars are forcing companies to embrace artists with bold visions in order for their content to stand out from the competition. That being said, we're also seeing a surge of reboots and revivals of old properties. So it's a bit of column A, a bit of column B. But hey, at least we're getting something new and refreshing. And I think that trend will continue for the duration of the 2020s. Lord knows we need something to look forward to in this godforsaken decade. And hopefully, Comedy Central will reallocate its resources into more deserving shows. But I will end this video on this note. I find it amusing that a TV network can't even stack up against a YouTube channel with freelance creators when it comes to quality and concept. Hell of a Boss blows Fairview out of the water. Huh. I should do a video about Hell of a Boss.
I don't even like the animation style of Dipsy's work, but...
So a big shout out to this video's sponsor,
the quality is incredible.
Keeps. Well, I'm getting older. Not as energetic as I used to be, and I'm usually in bed by 10 and up by 6. I feel like it's only a matter of time before I switch my outfit to jean shorts, an Old Navy American flag t-shirt, white sneakers, and then socks that go right up to my kneecaps. Get used to it, guys. That is your future, and you can't change destiny. But there are some things you can change about getting older, like saving your hair. Many guys have to deal with hair loss. Like, did you know that 2 out of 3 guys will experience some form of male pattern baldness by the time that they're 35? Yeah, it's that common. And the best way to prevent hair loss is to do something about it while you still have hair left. And that is where Keeps comes in. What is Keeps, you ask? Well, it's a subscription service that focuses on making it easier and more affordable for men to treat their male pattern baldness, but doing so online. You got online doctor consultations with real licensed doctors. They will review your information and will then recommend a hair loss treatment plan for you. A plan that offers generic options of the FDA-approved medications for hair loss. That means that these treatments are legit and way more affordable. And with Keeps, your treatment is shipped directly to your door every 3 months. On top of that, communication is key when it comes to this kind of stuff. It can honestly be kind of intimidating at first, but don't worry. Your doctor is only a message away and can be accessed through online doctor messaging 24/7. Do you have any questions or concerns about your progress? Well, hit up your doctor online and also track your progress with Keeps Progress Tracking Tool. Once you get everything up and running with your Keeps treatment, you'll start to see results between 4 to 6 months. So, if you want to save the hair you have left, you better act on this fast. Keeps is legit one of the best services when it comes to fighting male pattern baldness. There's a reason why it has more 5-star reviews than any of its competitors, and also why hundreds of thousands of men trust Keeps for their hair loss prevention. So, hair loss stops with Keeps. To get 50% off your first order, go to keeps.com/saberspark or click the link in the description down below. That is keeps.com/saberspark. Go check it out today. Hey folks, how's it going? I'm back once again with a quick vid, and this time we're talking about the newest movie from Illumination called Sing 2. And I'm not reviewing it because of the reasons you think I am, though I have to say, I did some research. I was hanging with my friend of mine, and I was like, wow, this girl character, the wolf girl, she's really making the rounds on websites. And for the sake of studies, of science, we went to a certain website to see the results, like as far as how many submissions of this character there are on this site. For those who know, you know. And we're like, no, whoa, she blew away the competition.
Hey, phrasing!
The numbers that were there for Sing 1, minuscule. For Sing 2, though, wow, her presence really boosted the franchise on this website. I'm being so cryptic with my thoughts. Again, for those who know, you know. All right, so Sing 2 is from Illumination. And Illumination to me is one of those animation studios where they know their demographic. They're not out to really make outstanding art. They're not trying to blow your mind. They are normie. They know that their content is pretty simple, and it is to keep parents and their kids happy. Sing 1, of course, was a big hit. Secret Life of Pets came out in 2016 along with it. Both those movies did quite well. And I think where Sing 1 made like $600 million at the box office, and then Secret Life made like $800 million. And these movies aren't that expensive. Like, they're made with the objective of keeping it relatively cheap. Illumination's like, we're not Disney, we're not Pixar, we're not trying to blow your minds or dump tons of money into our brand. We're making simple, effective movies. And they're normie. Enjoy. Where folks go after Disney saying like, you guys are doing it for more business reasons, you lack any heart or like conviction when it comes to art or whatever. It's like, no. I mean, they're not perfect and they've made mistakes and they will make mistakes in the future. But like Illumination's the one where it's like, oh no, we're in a business. We're gonna make some money. We're the ones who phoned it in as far as like, oh, we're playing to your hearts, moms. Isn't it so hard to be a mom with kids? Wow. Look at the pig mom. She's got 50 children in this movie. Can't you relate? Buy our merch. Now I'm just aimlessly bitching about Illumination. Let's continue. I'll focus here on Sing 2. So Sing 1, actually, let's do a quick recap for that. The movie synopsis, you got a bunch of anther animals.
Okay,
you got Matthew McConaughey.
Table for Matthew Hamada.
He's a koala with this theater. And he's trying his best to keep the place running, to afford it. He's very, like, frugal. Well, not frugal, I guess, on the fringe as far as trying to keep the place from collapsing financially and literally. And he decides to put on a competition for singing and dancing, hence the name of the movie, Sing. And you just find a bunch of riffraff characters like Porcupine Girl. You can sing rock and roll, and you're so alternate, like alt-rock. You're so special. Pig Mom, yeah, you can sing too. Seth MacFarlane Mouse, you gotta sing. You gotta sing Frank Sinatra. And of course, there's the gorilla guy whose father spoils the movie in the first trailer within like 10 seconds of him like, how'd I end up with a son like you? And then it jumps forward like 10 seconds later and he's like, that's my son. And it's like, what the hell? What's the point of the trailer? He goes, well, I digress. I bet you a lot. I can go on probably like for half an hour about my issues with Sing. But to bring it back in, and here's the part that kind of surprises me, is that I think Sing 2 was an improvement. It worked the angle of almost like an X Factor, or I don't watch these shows, but I know about these mainstream singing shows like in Eurovision, I think, or X Factor or American Idol, stuff like that, where it's like a big old, actually, I don't even think it was a competition. That's the wrong analogy. Like these big mega shows putting on performances, like a lot of folks love that. I am not a fan, but like, it's actually kind of wild now that I think about it, where I thought it would be more like an American Idol or some kind of like, we have to put on a show and compete. There was no competition. It was just a big show in like Vegas, and that's it. They're doing it to like, because like the Matthew McConaughey koala is like, I'm pissed off because my little studio is no longer good enough. I want to do the big leagues. And it's like, you just won your studio in the last movie. Now you're moving on to another one. I say studio, your stage, your theater. The entire like reason why he's taking all of his singers, except for like the Seth MacFarlane Mouse, he left. I think he's dead. I think he died in the first movie. But like they're going off to Vegas to like perform, and God, now I'm going in circles with my thoughts. And I apologize. This is a quick vid, so it's not as refined as my other videos, if you can call those refined. But ultimately, as I'm watching this movie, I find myself thinking this story's kind of weak, kind of pointless, but the interactions with the characters, I prefer them more. They're not as obnoxious or as, except for the elephant. The elephant girl is like, I got a crush on the ice cream man. She literally does. Because each of the main characters from the first movie are paired up with another character from Vegas, where like the pig girl, the pig mom, has to put up with this wolf girl who's like the daughter of some evil producer who's like, I want my money. Where's my money? I'm a wolf. Then you got like this cougar girl, a bobcat, trying to teach, oh God, what's his name? The gorilla guy how to sing and dance or whatever. How to dance. He can sing. He needs to dance though. The elephant girl is paired up with like this buffalo handsome boy. And she's like, I don't like him. He's a jerk. I have to pretend he's the elephant ice cream man so I can get over my fears. I like the second movie more than the first because it felt more interesting to see these characters out of their element in a different place. But the reason why they're there to begin with Matthew McConaughey or whatever, it felt dumb to me. It's like, okay, you're here, I guess moving forward, it's okay. But the reason why you're here to begin with just feels dumb. And of course, this is one of those movies where it's like the big Hollywood actors who aren't voice actors. They're actors known for live action, and then they're given voice acting. Like Nick Offerman, he's in the movie as like one of the pigs. And actually, he's okay. He's not a bad voice actor. But like the casting to me, like Scarlett Johansson as the porcupine girl, I'm like, I can take it or leave it. I don't think she's really doing anything outstanding, but whatever. I think I laughed out loud when my friend told me this. He's like, that's, oh God, who's the guy? 'Cause I still haven't found what I'm looking for. God, it's Bono. Bono's in the movie. And it's so weird because he plays like this gruffy line who's like, I can't sing no more because my wife's dead. Spoilers. And then like he's got this really gritty voice, but then when he sings, it sounds completely different from his like talking voice. I'm like, well, that's kind of a weird, that's a weird contrast. So the animation, it's not bad. It's Illumination. It's serviceable. Nothing to blow your mind. Nothing where you feel like you're being like let down necessarily. Some of the designs of the characters feel odd to me, where I'm like, I don't know if I really, because in 2016 when Sing came out, I'm like, I was a bit more harsh on it because Zootopia came out in 2016. Zootopia felt inspired. I loved the designs, the story, the characters, the exchanges, the entire arc of these characters and what Judy and Nick are going through and the undertones and the themes of the movie. While Sing to me felt so superficial, and Sing 2 feels that way also a bit, but just slightly improved. And you know what? You know, if you're gonna make a trilogy, maybe you should go to the path of like an actual competition where like the characters have to go through a bracket and they like fail along the way and they all don't win at the end. Because I get sick of that, where they're like, we're all friends and we're all gonna win because we're a family.
You'll always be with me. And you'll always be my brother.
Right, Seth MacFarlane Mouse, who died in the last movie. I was actually really bummed that he wasn't in the sequel. I was like, oh, he was sassy. I liked him. He was a son of a bitch and he was fun. So I guess ranting and my unrefined thoughts, I think the movie wasn't necessary. It's typical Illumination to say, make a sequel. If something succeeds for them, make a sequel. It's just gonna happen. And they'll probably make a third one too, because this one made its money back and then some. And that's during COVID time, so keep that in mind. So that just goes to show you how Illumination's very good with their production pipeline of making movies. They're done with a limited budget with the potential of maximizing their gains, and they're very good at it. And the movies are serviceable, like C+ or B-. That's how I feel. B- on the best of days, C- on average with a D, you know, if they're really dropping the ball. Because I don't hate Minions and I don't hate Secret Life of Pets. They just feel kind of like, it's a movie. You know, it's a movie. It's, whatever. Because I remember like watching Minions with my nephew a few years ago, and he was laughing and he was jumping around having a good time. I'm like, that's fine. And see, I have to keep that in mind that I'm like some grown man child, so I can't be too harsh on these movies where parents and their kids are having a good time. But as far as being critical, it's like, there's issues and they can improve if they want, but they won't because they want to keep going with what works for them with their movies, the cost and the way they're received financially, of course, and then critically. So that's just my opinion about Sing 2. And hey, at least we got the furry girl, the with her Jersey accent, kind of. Hey, I'm gonna walk here and I wanna jump in the sky because my dad's a producer. Oh my God, what the fuck am I talking about? Do not look up those websites. Do not. This video is brought to you by Helix Sleep. Hey folks, how's it going? Today I am back with another quick vid, and this time I am talking about the newest show for Adult Swim called Smiling Friends. Created by Michael Cusack and Zach Hadel. There's something about making that transition from being online creators to the mainstream, where in the process, there can be just a loss in translation, or there's a bit of a power dynamic between like the TV network and the creators are compromised with their vision because like said TV executives are like, no, we have to change this, or due to regulations, or a bunch of reasons. Smiling Friends, which has its pilot up on YouTube.
Pause the video. A quick addendum here. It was on Adult Swim was where the pilot was, not on YouTube. My bad.
I watched it like a year ago. I liked it a lot. Thought it was very good. I liked the energy. So when they said it was getting picked up by Adult Swim, I'm like, ooh, this could work. This could actually be a good fit. We'll see where they go. And my God, they made it work. The show itself had like 8 episodes that were dumped all at once on Adult Swim's website. And by the time of recording this video, those should be available on HBO Max. The synopsis of the show, it's about these 2 characters, Pim and Charlie, 2 buddies who are sent out into the world to help long lost souls smile, whether it be a shrimp gamer or whether it be a depressed guy who wants to kill himself, or they have to go to a fast food restaurant. There's a lot of chaos in the show. It's absurd, surreal humor, dark humor. That's the calling card of Smiling Friends. But here's the thing, and I'm gonna bring this up. Absurd humor, despite being so off the track and chaotic, requires a controlled chaos to it all to make it work. Time and time again, I've seen shows do this where they're like, we're funny, lol, random. And to me, it's like, this isn't funny. It's just annoying. It's overwhelming.
Yeah.
You need some kind of backbone to keep the chaos on track. And Smiling Friends does that, where the random humor works with the overall tone and feel of the show and the characters. It's rewarding. There was a joke that made me cry laughing, where it was a Halloween episode and there was like some weird demon monster chasing him around some forest. And by the way, the monster was very scary looking. I actually was like shocked when I first saw it. I jumped in my seat. I was like, whoa, that's scary. And there was a setup at the start of the episode where Charlie is like, no, I don't do Halloween costumes because who can say what will be offensive 10 years from now, which is kind of funny to think about. And at the very end,
I have a bad leg.
Pim escapes from the monster, runs into the room where there's a Halloween party with the rest of the friends. And then the party guests are like, bro, are you wearing blackface? And the demon's like, oh no, that's just how I'm a demon lord from the forest, and everybody just turns on him, and then they start ripping his body apart and devouring his flesh. And at the end, he's like, see, that's what I'm talking about. This is why I don't do Halloween costumes. There's another episode, I was blown away by this. Charlie and Pim are going on some fantasy adventure through a forest, trying to get to a princess to a castle, and they got sidetracked because Charlie's becoming friends with this hobbit creature, which this is the part that blew my mind. That was a straight up homage paid to the Rankin Bass Hobbit movie. Like, because the creature that they're hanging out with looks just like Bilbo. And I'm like, that's a deep cut reference.
My God, it does.
Because like, I love Rankin Bass, the Hobbit. And seeing that character, I was like, oh my God, I did not expect that much representation from that obscure movie in this show, or at all in media. Sweet representation for the Hobbit from Rankin Bass. Thank you. And now episode wasn't just random lols. You're actually seeing character development where Pim resented Charlie and vice versa, and they came together at the end. It was very rewarding, plus some wonderful humor along the way. To see Zach, who is like a child of Newgrounds, and to see other folks who are from Newgrounds and also on YouTube and the realm of online content creators get a chance to make a show, like on a bona fide big production level, and to see them do it well, where the humor that they have online and as people never was compromised. It translated so well into the TV show. And I really appreciate that. That's not easy to do. It's a massive accomplishment. I was a fan of Sleepy Cabin, which is a podcast that Zach was on, and a bunch of other folks too. And I love that podcast. I love their humor. They're really funny guys. And also Michael Cusack, who I think was introduced later on, like post Sleepy Cabin, as far as like group interactions. I watched his YouTube channel, and he had a series called YOLO, and that cracked me up. Like his humor was on point and so sharp. So overall, witty writers, great voices. You got voice actors that they bring in, like James Rolfe's in it, Mike from Red Letter Media, the number 15 burger. So I'm laughing just thinking about it. Number 15, Burger King foot lettuce. That guy's in the episode. The overall sense of humor from a writing point of view, on point. And also, as far as the animation goes, the characters are simple yet effective. A mix of media from 3D models to 2D to bizarre, like very detailed looking characters to very just simple, like Glep. He's super simple, but incredibly effective, and he's cute. The show is a great fit for Adult Swim. I hope they give it another season. I think the 8 episodes proved that Michael and Zach know what they're doing, and that online creators, when given enough creative autonomy with their creations, can carry and translate their audiences online to the mainstream. And though there's a sense of irony because the mainstream with TV is kind of dying off while online's growing, streaming is the answer to that. Adult Swim, Cartoon Network, Warner Brothers, whoever's in charge here, give them another season and put it up on HBO Max. It's a reason to have the service, and Smiling Friends feels fresh, yet it fits the Adult Swim brand quite well. It feels like one of those shows you'd watch with like Harvey Birdman and Boondocks and Squidbillies and whatnot. So keep it going. So ultimately, I recommend the series. I think it's very good. I hope to see more. I want to see where it goes next. Those are my thoughts. Curious to see what you all think in the comments. Let me know, and I'll see you all next time. So a big shout out to this video sponsor, Helix Sleep. 1 month down, 11 more to go. Maybe I should just sleep for the rest of the year. On my Helix Sleep mattress. Behold, my bed. You know, I actually made a comment about Mavis sharing a bed with me on my last Helix video. And folks in the comments were like, bro, you down bad. And you know what? Maybe I am. Don't judge me. All right, so for those who don't know, Helix Sleep makes premium mattresses and bedding that are customized to fit your needs. On top of that, it's conveniently shipped right to your front door. Also, Helix is no stranger when it comes to bed preferences. Everybody's different, and that's why they have a sleep quiz that matches your unique body type and sleep preferences to the perfect mattress for you. Do you want a firm mattress or one that is super soft? Hey, maybe a fusion of both. And what position do you sleep in? On your stomach, on your back? For me, it's on my side. You know, I just lay there in bed with my head on the pillow, looking at my phone. Maybe I should be reading a book instead. And for those of you who share a bed with a partner, giggity, you can have them take the quiz with you, so both of you can find a perfect compromise. When I took the sleep quiz, I was like, nah, I don't like hard beds. I don't like super soft beds. I kind of like a hybrid. And Helix was like, we know what you want. You want that midnight luxe. And they were right. I don't even know how I slept on my last mattress. It is nowhere near as good as my Helix. I also ordered my bed in a queen because I'm a queen. Also, I still can't believe how this mattress was mailed to my front door. This rage-induced rant of mine is brought to you by Warby Parker. Thank you guys for allowing me to scream.
This one's about the NFT, so I'll skip it so we don't get too pissed off over there. Do I have like a really short one? I just want to finish some stuff up, save some files. I'll play this clickbaity one.
I bought this Disney Princess Paint by Numbers coloring book for $2, and I'm about to spend 24 hours worth of drawing and painting time using a combination of cheap art supplies and also really expensive ones to see how far I can push myself using a kid's coloring book. Here are some helpful instructions on how to use this book, which I won't be following at all.
Mission failed. We'll get them next time.
Off to a great start. I'm going to do a little warm-up painting before jumping into the more detailed artworks. There's still going to be blood though, you know I had to test out the red paint. With the warm-up done, it's time to move on to our first Disney Princess transformation. The wonderful Belle from Beauty and the Beast is getting a not so wonderful horror makeover. Can you guess the inspiration behind this one?
Oh, that's cute.
These cheap watercolour paints are absolutely terrible, but let's see what I can do with them anyway. As a wise man once told me, a bad artist blames his cheap watercolour paints, but a great artist uses his expensive Copic markers on the next drawing after this one. Is that cheating? I don't know. This is my video, so I do what I want.
Got you down. Alright. Wait, did I get this the PNG right? Yeah. Okay. That has the yeah.
Shout out to everyone who picked up on The Nightmare Before Christmas. Sally, inspiration behind this one. One of my favourite childhood movies. Used to watch it before Christmas each year.
I actually kind of liked that one.
It's time to grab my trusty Copic markers and see what I can do to one of these pages using expensive art supplies instead of the cheap ones that come with the book. Will it make much of a difference?
What was this? Oh yeah. Just turn into a werewolf and slap your computer off the table with your
that
giant
is what I
claws.
can do with some expensive Copic markers. How do you think it compares? Do you prefer the charming look of the cheap watercolours? Or do you prefer the vibrancy of the expensive Copics? Let me know. I'm mixing things up and doing a horror transformation in a paint with water colouring book. I feel like the last couple of drawings weren't very detailed, so I want to do a transformation with inspiration from one of my favourite manga artists, Junji Ito. With inspiration from the horror legend, you know this is going to be a creepy one.
Oh, my freaking eyes. Okay.
I wasn't sure exactly what I wanted to do with the eyes for this character, so I tried a couple of different things, but ended up just blacking them out because I felt like it looked creepier. Now it's time to just add water. It's time to put some colour into Sebastian the Crab. And the crazy thing is, the watercolours in this book that are literally on the page and you're mixing water onto seem like they're better quality than the other book. I wasn't expecting that.
I love the ones where they're on the page. Gyo, that's what it's called, Gyo.
Who likes seafood? Crab Scuba's coming right up! Back in the old paint by numbers colouring book, I've got this hideous line work of Cinderella to transform, and to be fair, it's already terrifying, so it shouldn't be hard. This one's for the gamers out there. I've been watching season 2 of The Witcher recently, and I got inspired to do a Noonwraith transformation.
Like, okay.
Is this enough detail for you guys? I think it's time to ruin it with some cheap watercolor paints. Nice.
What is Castlevania?
One does not simply spend hours of fine detailed line work without ruining it by covering it with cheap watercolor paints, hiding that detail. Next! You thought I'd forget about doing a Frozen artwork in this video? People love Frozen. I've never seen it, so I don't know, but there's a cute little snowman. Wait a second. There's something off about Olaf. Olaf with that cheeky grin, always up to mischief. Does anyone know where the kitchen knife is? I swear I left it on the bench. And also, where's Snuffles? Olaf loved playing with the new family cat. She must be around somewhere. When a normal person looks at this, they see the outline of Tiana from Princess and the Frog. When I look at it, I see the building blocks of one of the creepy nurses from Silent Hill. Yeah, I consume way too much horror material, and it's probably not healthy for me.
It's a really good pose for one. This is research material for a comic I've been trying to get myself to draw for like years. I haven't been able to draw comics lately.
At this stage, there are some pesky lines from the original line work, which I need to get rid of somehow. I could use liquid paper, or do it the hard way. That's right, we're doing it the hard way.
Yeah,
I'm going to do a janky as hell background with messed up perspective to try and mask these pesky lines. Don't think too much about the tiny door in comparison to the giant nurse. Realistic perspective means nothing in the horror realm. Your mind warps all sense of reality, and doors are smaller than giant nurses. What do you guys reckon? Did I do a good job hiding those pesky lines? And don't say anything about the tiny door. I'm very insecure about my door size. I've got a new Disney book for the last drawing of this video. I'm going to be transforming Pocahontas with my Copic markers. I put a lot of time into this video, so if you want to show some support, you can give it a thumbs up. And also, if you want to see more content like this, horror drawings and creepy stuff, you should definitely subscribe. I upload new videos every week, and that way you won't miss out. Pocahontas is performing some dark ritualistic magic. Ooh, look out for the red butterflies. They'll eat your eyes. And on that note, that brings us to the end of the video. Thanks to all of my awesome patrons for supporting my channel, and thank you to everyone who watched this video to the end. Really appreciate you all, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye.
Welcome to Drawfee, where we take your dumb ideas
and make even dumber drawings.
I'm Jacob.
I'm Julia.
I'm Nathan.
And I'm Karina.
And imagine, if you will, come with me on this imagination journey.
Oh, I do love to go on a thought experiment with Jacob.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Imagine you're not us, you're someone else.
Are we
Who?
And
I'd love to do that.
it doesn't matter who. and you've just come home from a stressful day at work.
Never
and
experienced
you're
stress.
tired.
Ugh.
You're
Krusty
worn
Krab.
out. Yeah, stressful day at the Krusty Krab.
Oh, okay, I see it. I see it.
And you get home and you open YouTube and you're like, man, I sure would love to watch Drawfee, but they're always going hog wild on that program, and I don't know if I have the energy to meet them where they're at. But then you
I have
open
a
up
question.
Yeah, go ahead.
So if we work at the Krusty Krab, this implies that we're in the SpongeBob universe.
Yeah.
YouTube exists in the SpongeBob universe.
Yeah.
Yeah, correct.
They
How
watch
do they have
it.
electricity underwater?
We can get electricity underwater.
Yeah.
Anyways, you open the YouTube homepage, and what do you see but a Drawfee video titled, "We're just taking it easy today."
Yeah.
Taking it easy is the opposite of hog wild.
Yeah.
Yeah. Usually
We're
we're
just
hog
taking it
wild,
easy.
but
Yeah.
today we're taking it easy.
I feel like the opposite of hog wild would be, oh shit.
Yeah, you really dug a grave for
Teacup.
yourself now.
Lizard calm.
Lizard calm.
We're achieving lizard calm today. Fabled
Lizard calm.
calmness. We're just gonna. This
Gotta
one's
have
not
it.
even gonna be edited that much.
No.
David,
Big
so
ol'
stop
boobs.
now. Editing.
Yeah, that whole intro bit. That was sometimes
You
we
better have liked it because it's not gonna change.
This time we're just gonna draw whatever the freak we want, and we're just gonna take our time. And we're just gonna have a nice time hanging out and drawing. And like, what's wrong with that? We're taking it easy today.
What's wrong
Yeah,
with that?
nothing. I say.
Okay. So it's kind of like a beans.
No,
we're
no, no,
doing.
no.
It's sort of like
No.
a
But it does give me bean vibes.
No. No.
no.
What?
How's
No.
it different?
Here's a question.
Yes.
What's a calming drink?
Sort of like an herbal tea.
Yeah.
ZQuil.
ZQuil, definitely.
So like instead of a beans, it's like a
Just gonna start my drawing.
Droff leaf.
Draw leaf.
Draw leaf before draw tea.
Quill.
Draw quill. You're taking your draw quill. And we're gonna just relax and see how long we can stay awake.
So clearly our next
There's
bit
gonna
of
be a town guard.
our merchandise, our merch should be some sort of Drawfee
Boy, I really wish I
branded
could some
tea
action
called
around
Lizard Calm.
here.
Oh,
bored.
Like
I
the
am
opposite of
lonely.
Sobe energy
Like
drink.
some brave adventurer could show up
Oh,
and
that's
start
right. Those lizards are known for
causing
giving you
trouble.
energy, but we want to channel the type of lizard that takes from you your energy,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sucks it out of your body. Like,
leaving
What?
you only with lizard calm.
I like the idea of lizard calm.
oh, is this a lizard?
I'm sort of trying
I wish
to.
I mean lizard.
This is a lizard calm. A calming lizard has come to visit you this day.
I'm already feeling it.
A blessing.
Share this with 5 of your friends, or else the calming lizard won't visit you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Share this with 5 friends, or else the wild hog will burst into your home and go hog wild.
Yeah, at 3 a.m.
At 3 a.m. Gone wrong.
Emotional.
Yeah. You only have 2 options here, and it's the calm lizard or the wild hog, and you better pick correctly based on your vibe. Today, we picked the calm lizard.
Yes.
Yeah.
Every other day, we picked the wild hog.
Yeah.
Whoa. That's deep.
But we're just taking it easy today.
Just take it easy for once in your life.
But I still have questions about the thought experiment.
The thought experiment's over. We already,
When
the
did it
hypothesis
end?
was proven true. and I wrote out an academic paper about it.
Ooh, can you
Here's-
read?
No, it's not been published.
Here's a question for Karina and for Karina only.
Yes.
What's your SpongeBob Sona?
When you say SpongeBob Sona, you mean if I were in SpongeBob.
Like the thought experiment. We are
Yeah.
in SpongeBob. What would you be in the
I want to
SpongeBob
be
universe?
Who
a
and what?
vampire squid. Wait,
Ooh.
no.
Oh.
What's the squid? Grimmy, the round one with the ears.
Grimmy the round one.
Shut up.
That's a Bloodborne boss.
Grimmy the round one.
That is a Bloodborne boss.
That's the third thing that can come to your house.
Man, the second phase
Don't
of the
choose
Grimmy the
card.
round one fight is really hard.
Grim Dumbo Octopus.
What?
Dumbo Octopus.
I'm looking this
Dumble?
Dumbo.
Dumbo, like the elephant idiot.
Oh, I thought it was like Dumbledore.
No, we don't talk about that
Oh, he's cute.
guy. Am I wrong? This is who I am.
Oh, that's a cute little friend. Oh, look at that one.
He's got a little snoot.
Yeah. That's
it is
me.
Grimmy the round one.
Yeah. I wasn't wrong. I've done research about this. I just couldn't remember the name.
Grimmy the round one was correct.
Yeah.
I've already done a lot of research about this because I'm always thinking about my SpongeBob Sona.
Of course you are.
But I could also
And-
settle for a vampire squid. Those are pretty sick too.
I don't know a lot of sea creatures, is what I'm realizing.
They're really fun.
You
I
don't
like
know
sea
them?
critters.
You should get to know them.
Yeah.
I like those ones that are the ones that lay underneath the sand all the time. And
Oh,
then when
yeah.
like a fish comes by, they like pop up out of the sand and gobble it up. I like those ones.
Would that be your SpongeBob Sona?
Maybe. I like laying around and then only doing like the amount of effort that is required to sustain myself.
Yeah, that's a good way to be.
Yeah. That's kind of how I'm trying to be.
I'd also be down to be an anglerfish.
Oh, that's
the girl
fun.
boss fish.
Yeah.
They got the big lure.
Yeah.
Lure you in.
They melt men.
They melt
Yeah.
the men fish.
Yeah. Useless.
I also like the ones that are like the really fucked up deep sea ones where like you go down there and you're like, I can't even make heads or tails of what you are or what you're doing down here.
Yeah, the ones that are like eyeless.
Yeah, and they're just like unknowable blobs. I like those
Elbow
ones.
squid.
Elmo squid.
Elbow.
Elmo's Thunder Squid Ball.
No.
Elbow squid.
Elbow squid.
Oh yeah. Oh god, I hate these guys.
Yeah.
Is she talking about the big thing
Oh.
squid?
Spooky little guy.
They're all tentacle.
Nasty.
Got elbows.
It's like they got stuck on some wet spaghetti.
Now this is a Dark Souls boss.
Yeah. There is no spaghetti in the deep sea.
That's what the sailors said to us.
Yeah.
And I cry every time.
The deep sea creatures truly know nothing of our surface level problems. Like literally nothing that happens up here means anything to them.
Yeah.
One way or another. And I think that's beautiful.
Yeah. Oh, to be a boneless fish just rotting away in the dark, uncovered depths of the ocean.
Yeah.
Unknown to man and its
They
problems.
don't know. Yeah, they
Just
don't know any
floating
different.
along, letting algae fly into my gaping mouth hole to sustain me.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, I think that'd be
That's,
it'd be a different life, that's for sure.
That's goals.
That's goals.
But what about those fish? And this was what I was thinking might be my SpongeBob Sona.
Yeah.
I'm debating it between a few. This one, the ones that they like clean their houses by scooping up the sand in their mouth and then spitting it, and then they usually wind up fighting the other fish because they're trying to make a house too close to someone else's house, and then they get upset with each other.
I don't know. I don't know about these fish.
You don't do that?
It seems like those fish do bring the squabbles of the surface down below the sea, and I don't think I want that
that's a typical
energy.
Sunday for me. What the fuck?
Are they the ones that make like the huge patterns on like the ocean floor? They make like the big beautiful patterns.
I don't know.
I like those ones. They like flop around in the sand and you're like, what's this idiot doing? Flopping around in the sand for hours, and then it zooms out and it's like the most beautiful pattern you've ever seen. And you're like, wow, turns out I was the idiot, not the fish.
I also like lanternfish.
Yeah.
Anything that glows is cool.
If it glow, it cool.
Okay,
Yeah,
I like.
It goes.
I changed it
goes
earlier
into my
today
book of cool
because I
fish.
realized that I didn't
Speaking
even
of
know which
cool
icon I was
fish,
using.
Nathan, this is a wonderful little lizard.
Everyone else knows what my
Thank
icon
you.
looks like but me. I wasn't
thought,
paying attention.
Since we're not rendering these,
I forgot which one I
figured
used.
I'd just start. I'd mess around with some brushes that I don't normally use and just see what happened.
Also,
It's
hello.
It's pretty fun,
Marcera's like,
right?
you should try drawing
Jacob, the
the
pattern making fish is the Japanese
funny
puffer fish.
bikini armor
Oh,
thing
yeah?
where they're wearing
Do you
like
have pictures of their
clear
patterns
armor.
they make?
So I was
Yeah,
like,
well,
okay.
there's like videos and stuff.
Yeah, they make these crazy
Hold on, I'll look it
patterns.
up.
They rule.
Puffer fish pattern. There it is.
Yeah, I changed my
Yeah,
icon. What does everyone
they're like
care?
wheels.
They're like perfectly symmetrical.
I'll send it to you guys.
Yeah, send it in the
Please.
chat. And we'll
Yeah,
put it,
lag
we'll
is
flash it up on the screen.
Atrocious.
Or will we? We're not editing this one.
I mean, we are editing this one.
A little bit,
Are we?
Just a bit. Just a smidge.
but we won't flash it up on screen,
Or will we?
or will
Oh,
we? You
it's
don't know.
Beautiful. Wow.
Yeah, fish just does that.
Fish are smarter than us.
That fish is making art.
Maybe.
Maybe.
I don't know, actually.
Fish are definitely smarter than us, like particularly
Yeah.
us four.
Yeah, us four, yeah.
I can
A lot of
guarantee that.
things are smarter than us. I just
Yeah.
like this lizard.
Yeah.
And I like fish.
She's just chilling, you know.
Oh my god.
Get a little. Let's see. What would be a brush for like sort of like a sandy.
Sandy.
No.
If you go down, Nathan, there's a whole like spots thing that I've been using for Draw Detectives. It's got like some grittiness and some speckled star stuff.
Whoa.
Yeah. Leave the paintbrush box by going down. What's under it?
Bonus?
No. I don't see it.
Maybe Nathan doesn't have it.
It was part of like the mega whatever.
I'm in the mega
No.
whatever.
Is it above the paintbrush box?
I see a supreme spatter and texture.
Supreme.
Let's see what happens.
Oh,
Ew.
that's good. That's real nasty.
That's pretty nasty.
Is this guy kind of nasty?
He might be a little nasty.
You
I mean,
can be calm and still be
Yeah.
nasty, or vice versa.
yeah, you're allowed.
This is gonna be another one of those graphs that someone's gonna need to do for us this episode, like a spectrum graph.
Yeah.
It's like calm, nasty, lizard, hog. Ooh.
We're getting some sand.
Yeah.
Some sand.
Sandy.
Some sandy.
No.
Green sand.
I'm trying to make him contrast. Gotta make it light enough. Or darker?
Ooh, darker. Whoa.
Oh, that's taking him out.
It's because he's a little translucent, so you're
Yeah.
losing some of the.
Yeah.
Well,
If
I
you
just maybe I'm
multiply 'em.
overthinking it. You know? Oh yeah, I could.
Yeah, can you
multiply it.
calm down?
Ooh.
Oh, multiply the lizard.
Oh, I meant multiply the layers.
Multiply.
But
the...
this also works.
Yeah.
Just like duplicate it.
Or you could duplicate the lizard.
Yeah.
And then put a white under it.
That's true.
Mask it in, fill it in
Oh,
with
that made his
white.
legs weird.
It did make his legs weird. Why did it do that?
Whoa.
I mean, we're just.
Uh-oh.
we're
This
just
is not calm.
Yeah,
Anyway,
we gotta
sorry.
calm
Undo
down.
it.
We're,
Undo
we're
it.
thinking way too hard. We're supposed to be taking it easy.
Yeah. Let's go back. You know, here. Maybe
Yeah,
he's
bring
just
us back.
Maybe he's just in his sort of calm void.
I think that's fine.
Oh, to have a calm void.
I don't think he needs to be
He doesn't
doing
need
anything
to,
else.
He doesn't need to be doing anything else. Look at him.
Trying to,
I'm
like,
looking at
think
him.
of how
He's great.
armor
He's
works.
perfect just the way he is.
Yeah, what does he need? Nothing.
So part
Oh,
of
Jesus.
part of the art process is trying
Deleting your
stuff
art.
and
Yeah.
then deciding
Deleting it.
it didn't work.
And then deciding a white background is fine, thanks.
It's fine.
It's called a calm void.
Yeah.
That's my favorite 80s novelty song about a trucker.
Very good.
Thanks, Julia.
I didn't get it. I don't know that one, but I believe you.
Thanks.
I want another drawing.
Let's do another drawing. As
Yeah,
much
what
as
if-
I love the calm lizard.
What if Karina did something?
Karina, you do
What
something.
if I did something?
Why don't you do something?
It was a convoy joke. For no one.
Convoy, calm void.
Oh.
Conroy.
Oh.
Conboy.
All right.
Oh.
Well. Okay, you can stop getting it now. Garsh. See, the problem with having no prompt is that it does make it a little bit more stressful to decide what to do, but
You just gotta start.
all of this talk of SpongeBob Sonas really got me thinking
Yeah.
about my very old OCs that I haven't drawn in a while.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
My office fish. So I'm gonna
Office
draw
fish.
My office fish.
I don't even know about this one.
This is a comic I wrote in high school and then like redid in college. And then pitched it to Nickelodeon and got rejected.
Wow.
Understandably.
What kind of fish is Dwight?
Oh my god.
It
She's
is
making a The
basically
Office joke.
oh great, I'm on the wrong eraser again.
That's how you live.
Yeah, what else is new? It doesn't matter. No one can tell me I'm wrong today. We're just taking it easy.
Yeah.
It was
Heckin'
basically a comic that was kind of
Not
a
that
weird
cold at night, but
mashup of
it's supposed
SpongeBob
to
and
get
The Office, where it's like
freezing later
fish working in like an
in the week
office
or
setting.
something.
But
Which I hate.
it had like facts about the type of fish they were at the end of each one.
That's
and their
cool.
personalities were like based on you know, the kind of fish they were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've talked about this before. I
a
always
while
forget.
ago.
I always forget how much you know about fish. And then I
Yeah,
see
lag
you
is
draw
really
a fish.
bad.
And I'm like, oh,
Sorry
Karina
about
knows
that.
what the fuck a fish looks
The
like.
only reason I like couldn't remember Dumbo Octopus but could remember that Grimm was in the name is
Don't know what's
because
up
there
with that.
is a
Like,
Dumbo Octopus
I don't have a lot of
character
things
named
open.
Grimmy in my
Aw.
Oh
That's
my
cool.
god.
And talking about it made me want to draw them, so we're doing
Nice.
it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
This could have been on Nickelodeon.
Yeah.
This could have been on Nickelodeon, but they said, I don't know if an Office Place comedy about fish would be like right for kids. And I'm like, that's a valid point.
That makes a lot of sense when you say it that way.
We do
That's fine.
already have one of the most popular cartoon shows ever to exist about
Yeah.
fish. I don't know if we need another one about fish.
But they're
Yeah, sorry, I
different
don't know what's
fish.
causing the lag
These
this
fish
time.
have careers.
This fish
Yeah.
is York.
Huh?
This fish is
It
York.
kind of has.
Kind of is, isn't it?
It's kind of York-like.
Yeah.
My favorite genre of video game. York likes.
Oh, jeez. I have to remember what all of these fellas look like. This is Oarfish.
Or
He's an orf.
or
You can
what?
catch them in Animal Crossing.
Oh yeah. What's the fun pun when you catch a oarfish?
I don't remember.
It's like or fish. I don't even have a boat fish.
Yeah.
Probably.
That's the one I've made up just now.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Or fish, they won't steer you wrong.
That's also
Hey.
good.
Sorry, I was really stuck for about a solid 30 seconds on thinking about York name. Like instead of your name, it's York name. And then
name.
I kept picturing York being too stupid to realize what's going on.
I don't think he would put the clues together on his own.
Are you describing Your Name, the acclaimed anime movie, but starring York?
Yes.
Yeah.
I want to know more about this. Keep going.
Well, that's it.
Yeah, I don't think he
No.
would realize he was like traveling through time.
Oh,
Or
I
he
know
was, like,
that.
seeing another time.
Who would he even be switching with?
Well, he'd pass a mirror and he'd see himself. And he would keep walking and then he would turn. Be like, I recognize that man.
Yeah, I don't know who he'd be switching with. Because we don't have like ancient history in the Drawtectives universe.
No.
So all the more reason for someone to just make it up. I'll be checking AO3. Thank you.
Hurry, please.
Fanfics, please.
Num, 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 num.
Yeah, if we haven't said it, then you can
Put
just
on
make
like
it
how
up.
she read.
Yeah. We're cool like that. I love reading fanfics of our characters.
Yeah.
It's kind of the whole reason I do what I do.
I don't read many fanfics, but I do like knowing that they're out there.
Yes.
I just think about how they're out there.
I'm
And
just
I'm like,
replying
yeah,
via
that's
chat
right.
now.
That's correct.
I get all nestled into bed, and before I fall asleep, I just think to myself, fanfics exist. And a smile creeps across my face, and I close my eyes and drift off to dreamland.
God
Every
damn it, I was
night
drawing him on there
I
again.
do
Fuck.
this.
Beautiful. I just read fanfic as I fall asleep like a normal person.
That's weird.
No, it's not.
You should just think about them like we do.
I mean, I do that too. But sometimes I like to actually just, experience that joy.
So what's happening here?
I want to draw many of them. That's why he's off to the side. This is Oarfish. He's the boss. Oh, cool.
Is he a fish, a whole fish as is his head, and then he has a human's body?
Yes.
It's like Zora rules.
It's like Zora rules.
Yes.
That's awesome. I don't think I knew that about these characters, or if I did, I had forgotten. But
That's
I love
fair.
that.
This is a very old project of mine. I know I've talked about it, but I don't know if I've ever otherwise drawn any attention to it. But I do really like these designs, and SpongeBob Sewn has made me so nostalgic that that's what I'm doing today.
Yeah. I like that even without a prompt, we prompt each other.
Yeah.
Wow.
We're geniuses.
We're pretty good at this.
The way our minds work.
Oh, is that the one you were?
Yeah,
Truly
you guys
incredible.
said calm lizard, lizard calm, hog wild.
The opposite of hog wild.
I think lizard calm is a really powerful concept.
Yeah.
That I really want to carry forward into the future and also strive to achieve.
I think that once per day at least, you should take a moment and try and embody lizard calm if you can. Everyone watching.
Lizard calm feels correct because sometimes when you go to see them in their little tanks, if you have a pet lizard, they're just chilling under the little heat lamp.
Just basking.
Looking all happy.
Yeah, they can be so still for so long. And that's lizard calm.
Yeah.
They're not even doing anything. They're not gaming.
I can't imagine other activities, but they're not doing those
There's
either.
probably other stuff. Yeah,
Imagine just relaxing without even gaming once. Very difficult.
Most lizards, I don't know if you know this, most lizards never game.
Never game once in their
No
whole
way.
lives.
Yeah, they go their whole lives without gaming.
Tragic.
What else is there to do?
I don't know.
But
and lizards aren't telling me.
Somehow they stay calm through it all. So
Gamers can be anything except lizards.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because to be a lizard is to abandon gaming.
Yeah.
reject gaming, become lizard.
If you're a gamer, you'll never be a lizard.
Sorry.
Sorry.
The rules.
Yeah.
You hit the fork in the road, and one road is lizard and the other one's gamer.
I gotta layer
and
them
you
on.
have to choose.
And you're Robert Frost and you write a poem about it.
Yeah, that's what he was talking about.
Yeah. Little fish phone.
Fish phone.
Fish phones still have the button.
Yeah, because they have hands.
Of
Well,
course.
they just get whatever phones drop down there.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
So
that
it's probably
phone
older
you dropped
models.
into the ocean,
Yeah, so
that's
good.
his now.
Yeah. He's
Okay,
doing
who
business
else
on it
is
now.
there? 'Cause then there's Blobfish, fan favorite. In the nature fandom, I mean.
Yeah, people
Yeah,
love the
everybody loves.
blobfish.
They relate. They're like, I too am a blob.
Yeah. The whole I didn't clarify that in this comic a lot of the fish are deep sea fish
Mm-hmm.
and it's called the bottom floor.
Oh.
So it kind of not centers. It's a group, but there's two fish that are just random generic fish. And they get transferred to the bottom floor, and everyone there is a freak.
I can't believe we just happened to bring up how freaky and messed up deep sea fish are. And it was so relevant to this.
You've unlocked a new dialogue tree.
Yeah, we did.
The fish one.
Only 1% of players ever get this dialogue.
Yeah, this is rare.
This is rare Karina dialogue. Please enjoy it.
I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Is he using him as an armrest?
Yeah.
That's so good.
Because oarfish, let's see if I can remember fish facts. They're technically deep sea fish, but they come to the surface when they're like going to die. They're not like very deep sea fish, but yeah. So and they're
oarfish
really
are really
cool
weird.
looking, but yeah, when they think they're going to die,
caught
they just
one in
like
New
come up to the
Horizons the other
surface
day
and
and
beach
freaked the
themselves.
hell out.
So Oarfish, the
I was like,
character,
"Yeah."
his whole thing is that he's very over dramatic. So, and then Blobfish is his lackey that's always in charge of getting him his coffee, because if he's not caffeinated, he thinks he's going to die.
This is extremely relatable.
That's it. I'm going to the surface.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm beaching
done.
myself. I'm done. Did you have your coffee? What?
My what? No one made it.
Why would I have coffee when I'm dying? What's the point?
Just drink the coffee.
Oarfish are the world's longest bony fish,
Whoa.
reaching to
Nice.
56 feet.
Jesus.
That's really
It can
big.
be 600 pounds.
No, that's too
That's
big.
a lot of fish.
Karina, you didn't make him big enough.
This is
The story of a girl.
Story of a fish.
And this is Grimmy. She's the intern, and she is just really energetic and fast because Dumbo Octopus swim around super fast, and they're cute.
Oh,
They're so lil.
Yeah. So she's just a little guy. She's got little guy energy.
I love that for her.
Oh, yeah.
Here's another fish fact.
Or fact.
Or fact. It feels like sticky jelly. It's flabby and viscous.
Ew, nasty.
Ew.
Daddy.
600 pounds of flabby jelly. Wow.
Yeah. It's also, they don't eat other fish.
What do they eat?
Plankton.
Nice.
Yeah.
What are you doing being 56 feet long and 600 pounds and then just eating plankton?
Trying to be a whale over here.
How much plankton you got to eat to maintain that sort of body mass?
That's what whales do.
Yeah, but how? The whales never explain.
They live in the water. You just float. You don't have to worry about
Here's
it.
a fun fact to think about.
Yeah.
They do not have a swim bladder. Instead, they swim like how they like rowing. That's why they're called oarfish. With pelvic fins.
Whoa.
So they're always just gyrating.
That's what those long ones are?
I guess so.
I'm learning. I didn't expect to learn today.
Yeah, they just kind of row their way
You
along.
can learn while you're taking it easy.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Especially when it's about fish.
Yeah.
It's just so much.
There's so many of those wacky guys out there fishing it up. This an angler?
Yeah.
That's York again.
No, it's not my fault that York looks like many fish.
You just combined a bunch of fish to make York?
Yeah.
Wow.
What kind? Angler. What kind of fish is the middle one? Oh, that's the one that's you, right?
Yeah.
My
That's
God,
me.
right.
Okay.
That's Grimmy.
That's
That's
Grimace.
Grimmy.
That's Grimmy.
That's Grimace.
No.
Where's Grimace in this?
Okay, I'll add Grimace in the last one. This is Anglerfish. She's like Oarfish's assistant. Just deals with all of his dramatic antics. I love her. I
This
love
is a
all
real
my
fun
fish.
cast.
Yeah.
I want to watch this show, but it does feel like it should be on like Netflix or something.
Yeah. Nickelodeon doesn't deserve this. Good stuff.
Well, kids
It's-
aren't gonna get it. They're too stupid.
When I
with their
say it
tiny
was
brains.
rejected by Nickelodeon, I don't mean that in any sort of bad way.
No.
I did
Yeah.
end up working on the pitches that, like, a couple of the pitches that were accepted by Nickelodeon in this program. So, those are cool.
Those are cool.
And you know what? I wasn't prepared to produce this, so it all worked out for the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It means we got you. So
Yeah.
We got her.
thank you, Nickelodeon, for rejecting this and letting us have it here right now.
It's just that you weren't wrong.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to know an alarming fact about the elbow squid?
Yes.
The only pictures we have of the elbow squid are of juveniles.
Whoa.
So that means
Yep.
that the elbow squid adults are probably bigger.
And we don't even know where they're
Yep.
going.
We don't know what they eat.
We don't know where
We
they
don't
came
know.
from.
Yeah. We don't know anything about them.
Yeah. Elbow Squid is one of the characters in this, and his whole thing is that he's like, everyone's scared of him.
I forgot to
And he
look up
just
this.
kind
They
of
think that
lingers in the background.
elbow squid are.
Horrible.
Oh, it's hard to say, but
Horrible creature.
And it turns
Are
out that
the-
he's not even an
the
employee.
DT Big
He
Fin
just kind of
squid.
lives
Yeah,
in the
yeah, yeah, them.
office.
Oh.
And they don't know how to get rid of him.
He's like a Creed.
A what?
A Creed from The
Yeah,
Office.
you mean from the movie Creed?
From the movie Creed?
The boxer?
Yeah.
Is that what that movie's about?
Yeah, it's
That's
about
wild.
it's about Creed from The Office becoming a boxer.
I didn't know there was a character in The Office named Creed. I haven't watched very much of The Office.
Creed is the best character in The Office.
I'm
in my
sorry, I
opinion.
don't know.
And a professional boxer.
And a professional boxer played
That's
by
wild. I had
Michael
no
B.
idea.
Jordan.
And a Christian rock band.
Whoa.
What can't he do?
It's all the same person.
Hagfish.
Hagfish.
Hagfish is the janitor in this setting. He has bad eyesight and secretes slime.
It's a bad janitor.
So he used to
That's
clean up
the
after
joke.
himself.
Karina, I don't get it. How could he be a janitor when he's making slime all the time? I don't understand.
That one janitor in
it's called
I feel
Riverdale,
like you didn't think
who's
this
always
through when you
dripping.
designed the
called
character.
A little haha comedy.
I hate everything about hagfish, I will say. They're terrifying.
But they're also
I
fascinating.
hate looking at them.
Show it to me.
You don't want to see it, is
We've
the thing.
talked about hagfish before.
You drew the mermaid hagfish,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. She was cute.
They're also covered in slime.
Yeah, they literally just make slime. Oh god, I accidentally moved the
They're
thing.
like the slimiest fish.
You
They're great.
monster. We're no longer taking it easy.
I put it back.
It's back.
Okay,
It's
we can
fine.
take it easy then again.
Yeah. Sorry.
It moved for a moment, and now it's
just
back.
cut that bit. I stopped, okay? I stopped for a reason.
No, it's staying in.
What the hell?
No editing.
Some
We gotta
editing.
see it.
Some editing.
Well, the longer you keep arguing with me, yeah, it's in.
It's for sure in now.
Yeah. He's got his little tail coming out of his
I just found a
body.
headline that I think will interest all of us.
Always.
Slime eels leave Oregon cars and road covered in ooze.
I
Just think
remember
about that for
that.
a second.
Yeah.
It was a
like-
car. It's apparently a car filled with hagfish that just kept sliming.
Yeah, and then it like filled up the whole road.
Oh my
Yeah,
god, I read about
It
that.
filled up the car and then went all over the road.
Ew.
That's this guy.
They can make so much slime.
Yeah,
Why
it's
can they make so much
gross.
slime?
They stay making slime.
That's just how their body is.
That's just what they do. It's like what we do with YouTube videos.
Yeah.
That's our
People
slime.
always say, yeah. That's the slime that we put into the road of
Yeah.
life.
We're basically the hagfish of YouTube.
Yeah.
Come and interact with our slime.
These are the normal fish. What the hell did they look like? Oh, I got it wrong. So these are the transfers. Their names are Lucky and Beelzebub. They're just normal fish.
And they hate it here.
They do hate it here. That's the joke.
Again, everything about this is very relatable.
I'm charmed.
Honestly, I should really revisit this idea now that I'm like actually an adult who's worked in an office and not just like a student who pretended.
I mean, I think you nailed it anyway. This is basically what it's like.
Yeah, an office is basically just a school again, but with older people in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Beelzebub is the young, well-liked one, and then Lucky is the one who's always getting beat the fuck up by Oarfish. Yeah. And who else? Is that everyone? There's a couple more characters, but I'll stop because
You
I just
forgot
need to add
Grimace.
Grimace. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I was getting to that. Can you not
Okay.
steal my thunder? I'm trying to relax today. What
I'm
does
just
Grimace
making
look
sure.
like again? Kind of looks like this.
That's not really what Grimace looks like.
This is what Grimace looks like now.
Why is his mouth like that?
That's what his mouth looks like, isn't it?
I think it's more just sort of like a like a regular mouth.
Fine.
I liked the one you drew.
Isn't it like that?
Yeah.
That's closer.
That's closer.
I just felt like it.
Yeah, just make it. Yeah, that's good.
Now
do
the
whatever
eyes
you
are
want.
wrong.
No, everything's.
I'm starting to lose my
We're,
cool.
we're so close. You're so close to
We're
done.
taking it easy. Just relax.
Doesn't he look like this? Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, he's just sort of like a sleepy potato.
He's new here.
Yeah.
He's also like really big. He's just so big. Okay.
Oh, whoa.
Here's
What happened, buddy? Grimace, no.
He's been eating that plankton.
Yeah.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Got too many Krabby Patties. You know what happens when you eat a lot of Krabby Patties? They go straight to your thighs.
And then you explode.
Reference.
But Plankton owns the chum bucket, not Krusty Krab.
Anyway, here's my doodle of my old OCs. I miss them. I like fish.
This was
Hell yeah.
This was delightful.
Yeah, what a treat.
Thank you for sharing these. I love them all.
I might have to revisit this more.
Yeah.
I'm going to visit my canvas.
Whoa.
And then put some drawings onto it. How do we feel about that?
Do it.
Nah,
Do it.
pretty chill.
I feel like I just want to do like some little friends.
Okay.
Yeah.
Some little guys.
Yeah. I'm just going to kind of like vibe out on some little guys.
That's what we're doing, man.
I love little guys.
And I want to make sure they're all exhibiting the sort of the lifestyle, lizard calm.
They're all living that lizard calm lifestyle, yeah.
Yeah. This is not Garfield, I just want to say.
Okay.
Are we
out the
sure?
gate.
You're going to have to finish drawing it before I can agree to that.
I don't want it to be Garfield, but my hand
Your
really
hand
wants to
is,
make it Garfield
is making
now.
it Garfield.
Jim Davis is guiding your hand today.
Oh no.
It's
Jacob.
continuing to be Garfield.
Jacob?
Hey.
Wow.
You said
You
It
lied
might
to
be
us.
Garfield. It could still be a rabbit. It could still be a rabbit.
No.
No, it can't. It's too late.
I don't think this is Garfield.
Okay.
OC.
Doubt.
Do not steal. Jim Davis.
Press X to doubt.
I don't think this is Garfield.
This is Graffled.
Yeah, this is Ronald.
This is Rawfield.
Yeah, this
Raw.
is Ronald.
Raw.
Yeah, I think I just kind of want him to be like, I think I just want him to be chilling.
Yeah.
Just get him kind of like this.
Oh. Oh. Okay. Uh-huh.
Is he doing a lay down but head up?
Yeah.
He's doing the thing like when you're relaxing but you still want to watch TV.
Yeah.
You know the thing.
Put on an episode of your favorite anime and just sort of prop your head up awkwardly and
Oh yeah.
worry
lizards.
about the
Yeah.
the neck problems you're causing for yourself later.
Yeah.
I think
Ass
this is
down,
pretty good.
face up. That's the way we like to watch anime.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just have to draw some trash,
Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to see it.
but make it the best
There's his
trash you can.
toes.
Yeah. There they are.
Yeah? Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Don't ask me.
This is all right.
This has big joy energy.
Slap a ciggy on
Oh.
I guess it's not Garfield, but it's also not Garfield, you know?
Yeah. I know.
Yeah. And
You know, I said this has big Joy
Crop this
energy,
sucker.
and then I turned around and Joy's holding her back leg over her face.
Realized I don't like doing
Oh.
standing
Can I-
poses unless the
can I
character is
request
like
a
doing
picture?
something.
I can try to take one.
Please.
Wow, she really is doing that.
Don't look at me.
I'm shy.
Oh, that's a real comfy looking pillow, Jacob. Dang.
I mean, this is how I'm trying to be. This is how I'm trying to be.
And you've left so much room for other stuff.
Well, yeah, I think I'm just gonna sort of put stuff in here. I'm just gonna free associate
Okay.
and put stuff in here.
We've got the lazy cat, unaffiliated lazy cat.
Thank you
This
for
is
the
this
picture.
is
Julia.
Rawfield.
You're welcome.
Rawfield.
Yeah, Rawfield.
Rawfield the lazy cat.
Could have swore it was layering these,
Oh,
but I guess
who's
I
this?
forgot.
What's that?
Someone's peeking.
Is it Grimace?
Is it Binky?
It's
Is it-
kind of Binky-esque, isn't it?
Is it Kermit?
Bunky?
Not Kermit. Is it Kirby about to eat the bed?
Oh, it's kind of Ogilvy.
It's
I mean, not Ogilvy.
Avis.
Davis.
Jim Davis.
It's Jim Davis. You're
Oh
right.
my god.
What does his hair look like? Is it like this? Oh,
It's
it's like
more
up
like on the
top.
top of his head. He has a little.
Yeah.
He has
He's
a little top of
bird
his head cliff.
shaped.
But you've also drawn a who is I gotta find the video.
The video.
You've drawn
Maybe
this.
The round one.
You've drawn something like this before.
Who
He's
do
got
I
a
know
little
this man?
weenus on his face. Again.
No.
No.
Stop. He's just watching the anime with Rawfield.
Does Rawfield have his bed just like in the middle of a room? Is he Yu-Gi-Oh bedding?
You don't really get to know that.
Unknowable.
You don't get to know that. That's
Yeah.
not. It's not for you to know. It's not for us to know.
I think this might be like a capybara.
It just looks like Garfield's having a wild night at a party, and all these people are like, "Hey, man, are you okay?"
Yeah. Why did you bring your bed here? Why did you set up your bed in the middle of my living room?
You take too much, my dude. Did you eat a whole weed?
Oh, they're touching hands.
The capybara is holding his hand. I think they have like a romantic.
He looks so
Oh.
stern, but that's just his face.
Yeah, they always look like
That's
that.
just how his face is, but he's
Very
really
tiny particles.
very
size.
affectionate.
Uh-uh.
I figured out what I recognized that character from, Jacob.
Detectives.
Avis.
It is Avis, but when you drew the hair more on the side, it looked like your drawing of Wenge from the Drawing Colors as People.
Oh, I do remember
Wedge.
that actually.
I guess if you had kept the hair on the side, it could also look like Murder Clown.
It could be anything. Listen, if you're watching this, it's whatever you want it to
Yeah,
be.
Yeah.
it's for you to
It's
decide.
for you.
Add another axes to that graph, that spectrum graph we're setting up for today. One end is Jim Davis, and the other is Murder Clown.
Murder Clown.
Where do you fall
Yeah.
on the Jim Davis Murder Clown spectrum? Let us know in the comments below.
Because Jim Davis hair go up and is on top of head, and Murder Clown hair go down and is on side of head. Also, Jim Davis has done no murders, whereas Murder
That we
Clown,
know of.
Has done at least a murder.
at least
that we
enough.
know of.
Yeah,
Yeah, to get the moniker.
yeah.
This kind of looks like Garfield is dying.
It does. It does look like that, but that's not what's happening.
Yeah, first of all, this isn't Garfield. This is Herfield.
This is Herfield.
Yeah.
And
that's definitely
he's
not
just-
the case.
He's just
Who's
so
this?
relaxed.
Is this the Scream?
This looks like one of those Renaissance paintings.
You still have so much canvas to fill. No, why are they crying?
Garfield is dying.
I don't know why. Garfield's definitely not dying. I'm not sure why they're crying.
This one's just having a day.
I think this is a vampire.
Oh.
What a party.
Yeah. Whose house is this? Yeah, this is when you decide to take the leap and invite all of your like different friend groups to the same gathering for the first time, and shit goes a little off the rails. We've all been in this exact scenario.
Oh, he's biting his lip.
Maybe he thinks Garfield's really sexy.
Oh, and he's crying.
Tear to his eye.
Crying because he can't have him.
Okay, there we go.
because
Now it is
in a
early
relationship with
2000s.
the capybara.
And he's like, damn,
Jelly
Garf,
armor with the glitter.
with a body like that,
With toes that plump.
with toes that plump, what wouldn't I do? No, we can't start going hog wild.
He's biting his lips so he doesn't start biting them piggies.
No, Karina, we can't start going hog wild.
Oh, I'm sorry. Calm lizard.
We have to retain
Calm lizard.
Lizard.
Yeah, we have to retain lizard calm. Please.
You took
You're
what
the one
you
drawing
took.
this.
Yeah, you started it.
We're just responding how anyone would to seeing
Yeah.
such an image.
Anyone would say that. Anyone would say that.
Anyone?
Anyone.
Anyone or
not?
just us?
Anyone.
Anyone.
I feel like
Alright.
there should be a random sentence to the left.